unique racetracks, and today it unveils its new look. We are live at Pocono International Raceway on TNN Motorsports. They don't make days any nicer than this one here in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Welcome, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. We are live here at Pocono International Raceway. And, Buddy Baker, it's a racetrack with a brand-new racing surface.
It is that. It's very smooth. The tunnel turned 3 to 5 miles an hour faster than last year. Everybody's looking for a lightning-fast race today.
And qualifying was so very interesting, Phil Parsons. Behind the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon. A lot of interesting names.
Well, sure where you've got Derek Cope back there, Hutch Strickland. Guys that you don't normally see right up front. But the thing about this new racetrack is it's a clean slate for everybody. You don't have the same bumps that you had 20 years ago that the Earnhardts know and the Waltrips know. So maybe we'll see one of those guys break through.
Yeah, it could be an equalizing factor, but the one constant is our pole sitter, Jeff Gordon. Third week in a row he's been at the top spot, and earlier this morning he and Glenn Jarrett spent some time walking around this new Pocono racing surface.
Well, Eli, I'm down on this newly resurfaced racetrack here at Pocono with the pole sitter, Jeff Gordon. Now, he proved last year he could dominate this place, almost won the race a year ago, won the pole here, so obviously you've taken a liking to this new pavement.
Well, yeah, I really like it. This is the first time I've ever sat on the pole here at Pocono, and, you know, we've run good here in the past, and I was a little bit worried because shocks are usually really, really important here, and as smooth as the track is, you've kind of thrown that shock combination out of it, and we didn't test here either, so I've been real happy with the car. This is one of our best cars, and it's a car we won with at Dover, and I hope it works on the flat tracks today.
Well, we're in the turn 3 area here, just as you go off into the front straightaway. This is a good place to set them up, pass them.
Yeah, this leads up to the long straightaway, very long straightaway, and you can really get on a guy, and if you just take your momentum up off this corner, you can really get underneath the guy, and that's where you want to position yourself going into that first turn.
We'll be looking for that a little bit later on. It is incredibly smooth out here. We had a chance to talk to several of the other competitors to see what they thought about it. Some interesting comments. Let's hear from them.
Well, first of all, the track's really smooth. It's hard to say that about Pocono because it's always been a rough racetrack. I enjoy coming here, and we always run good here, but boy, when I showed up 2 weeks ago for this test, I couldn't believe it was at the same place because all the bumps in the front straightaway were gone. It's real smooth. I guess they had Clarence Cagle, the old fella that's looked after all these pavement jobs, looked after this place, and I can't find a bad place in a racetrack. This year is faster in every corner, and it just feels great.
It's hard to judge exactly what it's going to be like for racing, but it sure is smooth. It sure is nice. It has a nice wide groove. A lot of new pavement that we race on. It's so hard to race on because if you get outside the groove, your history. This doesn't feel that way. When you're running by yourself out there and you make a mistake and get out wide, you're still okay, which is kind of unique.
But you know, the track's nice and smooth. It's still got some waves in places where they had it before, but kind of adds a little character to the racetrack, I guess. So, but they really did a great job paving it. It's just going to be a pretty smooth race, or pretty smooth racetrack for the race cars.
Well, the second biggest story this week at Pocono, Dale Jarrett crashed in qualifying on Friday, broke some bones. Randy Pemberton is standing by with him.
Well, thanks, Glenn. Dale, we know that you're hurt. Is there a possibility that you can't go the distance today here at Pocono?
I just really don't know. There is that possibility. I'm pretty sore today. It's just a matter of how much my knee can stand and, you know, how things go. But I'm going to try to make it all the way. But I have Mike Wallace standing by, and I feel good about that because I have a lot of confidence in Mike. And we'll just see what happens. Say Happy Father's Day to my dad and my father-in-law, Jack Spears. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, you too. Eli?
Hi, Randy. Thanks a lot. A lot of stories today. Plus, remember, the point standings, second, third, and fourth spots go into today's race, separated by only 79 markers. We're coming right back.
A car engine has as little as 1/1000th of an inch of motor oil protecting its parts. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect vital parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
It's equal parts sweat and steel. steel. Its decisions made in the split of a second. And pain endured for the length of a day. And at the finish, you're either toasting victory or getting set to do it all over again next week. It's auto racing, the way we do it, on the Miller team.
To get the most out of this Indy car, Patrick Racing put Scott Pruitt behind the wheel. They built a team that could get it in and out of the pits in the blink of an eye. And they chose a battery they can depend on to get it started. The Duralast battery from AutoZone. The same Duralast you can depend on to start your car. So don't settle for anything less. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
Gary, just between you and me, you find Earnhardt, you know, intimidating?
Well, he's pretty darn competitive. Nobody trades paint like Dale. He does have that black Monte Carlo.
Yeah, he's got that black Monte Carlo.
But remember one thing. When he first started, his car was pink.
No, pink?
Pink? Pink. And he's never gotten over it.
Genuine Chevrolet. The cars more champions trust, no matter what color they're painted.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 presented by ProMotion Engine Treatment is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Controls volatility and fights vaporization. By the Miller Brewing Company, proud sponsor of the Miller Racing Team. We race for beer. By the more than 1,300 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Chevrolet, one car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. Genuine Chevrolet. Beautiful day here in the Poconos. Let's check out the Sears Die Hard starting grid, brought to you by the Die Hard battery, now with more power when you need it. Jeff Gordon, brand new track record, 169.725 miles an hour. Derek Culp starting outside of the row number 1, his career best start. Row number 2, Hut Strickland, his best start of the year. Ricky Craven, he's making his 3rd start here at the Poconos. Kenny Schrader, 17th consecutive Pocono race in which he has started in the top 10. He's joined by Mark Martin outside of row number 3. Next row, Bobby Labonte, who picked up 3 spots in the points after a great finish at Dover. He's joined by Joe Nemechek, who's had some of his best career runs here. The 5th row, veteran Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt. He has had a handful of top 5, 7 of those consecutively this year. Terry Labonte and Ward Burton. Ward was quick in practice yesterday afternoon. Row number 7, Rick Mast and Michael Waltrip, who finished 2nd here in '88, his career best finish. Row number 8, Bobby Hamilton, quick in practice yesterday, and young Jeff Burton of South Boston, Virginia. Row number 9, Ernie Irvin and Berwick, Pennsylvania's Jimmy Spencer. They love him up here at the Poconos. Rusty Wallace and John Andretti will make their row number 10 start. Andretti won here in a go-kart 20 years ago. Lake Speed and Brett Bodine going from row number 11. Row number 12, Sterling Marlin and Todd Bodine, who subs for Bill Elliott again here this week. Good to see Loy Allen back after injuries at Rockingham, and Jeff Bodine still wants to lead a lap this year. Morgan Shepherd, and there's Dale Jarrett after the accident. He's using his Charlotte car here today. Row number 15, Wally Dallenbach and Ted Musgrave, who normally finishes here in the top 5. He's hoping for a good day. Bobby Hillen and Darrell Waltrip, who's been to victory lane many times here at Pocono. Jeff Green is driving for Dale and Teresa Earnhardt. Jeremy Mayfield drives for Cale Yarborough. The 18th row, Robert Presley, healthy, no substitute. Greg Sachs is not here as a backup. And Randy McDonald, his first race of the year. Steve Grissom and Kenny Wallace, row number 19. The 20th starting row, Kyle Petty and Johnny Benson. And starting in the 21st row, Dick Trickle, the new driver for Junie Dunleavy. As far as the in-car camera coverage is concerned for you today, we have got many cameras on board. Mark Martin will be carrying some of our cameras today. So too will Ricky Rudd be bringing us around this racetrack. Todd Bodine is going to be bringing us some of the coverage today from the McDonald's Ford. We've got Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Burton also carrying cameras today, and this is a tough old racetrack, Buddy Baker. It'll be very interesting after a competitive ARCA race yesterday without many incidents on the track. It'll be interesting to see if the Cup guys can follow suit. There was a lot more driving room yesterday than we've seen here in the past.
Eli, what you have here is a very, very tight field from first to last. There's very little spread in speed, so it's going to be a give and take right at first, and as we well know, turn 3 is the key to getting around this racetrack. It's also the key to keeping the car in one piece. If you get way out and try to cut back in and somebody touches you, it's a wreck.
200 laps around the 2.5-mile Pocono International Raceway on Father's Day 1996. Glad to have you with us here on TNN Motorsports. And Jeff Gordon up through the gearbox, and off they go on this long 7/10 of a mile front straightaway, one of the longest straights in all of NASCAR racing. Now, turn number 1, where the field is now, is basically a high-speed hairpin turn, but a little more running room than we've seen in the past. Now the teams are going from turn 1 to turn 2. This is a triangular track, only 3 turns. They're heading now through the Long Pond straightaway to that corner that you're looking at. It'll be the tunnel turn, which goes over the tunnel that leads them outside to inside the racetrack. As they get across the tunnel, they now work this north straightaway at 1,780 feet. They blow by Jeff Gordon right there, putting Hut Strickland at the point now in the Circuit City machine. And now they work on the flat turn number 3, where RPMs drop a little bit. It's kind of like a road course.
Jeff Gordon got caught on the outside there going across the tunnel turn, and even with the great surface they have here, once you get on the outside and the guy's got momentum on the inside, he had to give way.
So as they work back into the corner, Hut Strickland has only led 1 lap all year, and that was in Daytona back in February, and he shows the way right now. But outside of him, now inside of him, is Derek Cope in second. Phil Parsons with that new homegrown chassis of theirs.
It's interesting, Eli, to see if they can truly run side by side like Mark Martin was alluding to in the open. Derek got underneath Hut Strickland coming off turn 1, made the pass into the tunnel turn. I'm not sure anybody can run through the tunnel turn at speed side by side.
See Hut Strickland going back for the lead there on the inside of Derek Cope. You see Derek roll out the throttle, get back in that preferred line, take a lower line, looking for a place to make his move here. Kenny Schrader in third there. Eli, it looks like Kenny's got a good run going.
But meanwhile, Hut Strickland is the leader. He has 2 top 5 finishes here at Pocono. He loves this racetrack, and there's a vintage Pocono scene. This wide drag strip-like main straightaway. Folks use every inch of it as Derek Cope now works the inside to his advantage.
Eli, there's what Mark Martin was alluding to. 2 wide in number 1 corner. 2 years ago, last year even, you couldn't even think of going on the outside to make a pass. Jeff Gordon's going into third now.
I think Jeff Gordon's recovered from his, he may have slipped or whatever in the tunnel turn on that first lap, and that's why those cars got by him, but looks like he's recovered and headed back towards the front.
Now the north straightaway, 1,780 feet from turn 2 to that flat turn number 3.
Eli, we have reports from several teams right now that they're very trouble
in the corner as Joe Nemechek was having his car kick out through the corner, goes across the grass as one other machine belches some flame you see at the top of your picture, and we are under caution right here as Bobby Labonte has problems with the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet.
We got a bit of a fire in the back. The car looked like the car must have backed in the wall or something, maybe exiting the tunnel, or got it together with another car going in turn 3 there.
And there's Bobby being helped from the car. He quickly took care of all of the safety gear, the paraphernalia, unhooked and jumped out, and was helped, you saw at the very end, by one of the track workers here. Scary moment. So Bobby is okay again. We showed you him being carried away and helped over by the safety crew, and he is just fine. But boy, the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, you see clearly the fire extinguished in a hurry, but boy, that baby went up quickly.
Tremendous damage there around the fuel cell and all on the left rear corner. That car really had a hard lick on the left side.
Buddy, you know the way we were talking about before the race, that flat corner, you don't have the bank to hold it. We'll take another look here and see what we can see.
Already up in the wall there.
Yeah, caught him. He was already sideways and backed in the wall, and looked like Terry Labonte trying to make an evasive action, got in the back of Nemechek, and I think that's why Nemechek went ahead and spun to the inside of the racetrack. But, tremendous damage when you have a flat corner. It's a fast corner. It's the slowest corner on this racetrack, but it's still lightning fast, and you don't have the bank to catch the car.
So we are under caution for the first time today. Jimmy Makar and the boys take the war wagon back to the garage area as we are live on Father's Day here at Pocono. We're coming right back.
You look at a garage a lot differently when you see who it belongs to, especially when you look at Sears Garage, where right now new Bridgestone road handlers are all on sale at guaranteed unbeatable prices, all backed by the guarantee that made Sears famous. So no matter what's parked in your garage, chances are you'll find a Bridgestone road handler for it in ours. If you're looking for a great deal on tires, take a look at our garage, Sears Auto Center.
Conditions like these are torture on engines, but you can also damage engines in a more familiar setting. That's why there's an engine treatment for stop-and-go driving from Valvoline called TM8. TM8's 8 friction-fighting ingredients significantly reduce engine bearing wear. Even in high-temperature conditions, adding TM8 gives oil up to twice the protection. Hey, driving 150 miles an hour is tough on engines, but so is hardly moving at all. TM8 from Valvoline, because driving is more stop-and-go.
Enter the Performance Zone with Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs.
You hit your passing gear, you're gone.
Experts say Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs mean more horsepower and better mileage.
The difference in gas mileage has been fantastic.
Enter the Performance Zone only with Split-Fire Performance Vs, guaranteed. And now get triple platinum performance for the life of your car. New Split-Fire 3 spark plugs.
Some people say having a race car like this is like having the best toy ever made. Let me tell you, this ain't the toy. I know it. The Racing Collectibles Club of America, they know it. And you'll know it too as soon as you sign up. RCCA offers you the finest die-cast collectibles, and they're for club members only. And they don't make a lot of them. That's what makes them collectible.
Call 1-800-952-0708 to join the club for half price. Join now by calling 1-800-952-0708.
Welcome back, everybody, as we are under caution. First time here at Pocono International Raceway. The AutoZone Race Analysis brought to you by the more than 1,300 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. There you see the numbers of this afternoon's race. 200 laps, 500 miles. The race record, what with the new pavement here, could well be eclipsed this afternoon in the 37th ever visit for the NASCAR Winston Cup teams here to Pocono. You see Bobby Labonte's car. Let's take a look through Mark Martin's windshield and see. He was in the general vicinity, fellas. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Okay, they're going into turn 3. You see Joe Nemechek get him right in the left rear corner. The preferred line is right on the white line going through that corner. Bobby come across. Nemechek didn't have time to check up. He caught him on the left rear corner, and around they go.
Because when we looked up, Phil, we saw Joe going across the grass. Now that in-car look kind of gives us a broader idea of what exactly transpired.
That's what we're talking about, the give and take. And, you know, don't know whether Bobby didn't know Joe was there or whatever, but you have to give somebody a little bit more room, especially this early in the race. And if that didn't happen, then you see Bobby Labonte's result right there.
Let's take another look at it real time and see what it looked and sounded like to Mark Martin. Mark kind of weeding his way through all of that problem now as he continues on. On the pit lane right now, Johnny Benson is pitting. Kyle Petty is pitting. Joe Nemechek is in. They are fixing the front end of his Burger King car. Also, the QVC Ford is in for Jeff Bodine. So that's taking place on the pit lane as we are working the 4th of 200 laps at a sold-out Pocono International Raceway.
I'm the King Grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
How far can you go on $199? Well, come to Pep Boys and you can go 80,000 miles. Because right now you can get 4 of our 80,000-mile tires for just $199. That's a full set for under $200. Oh, the roads you'll travel, the sights you'll see, the money you'll save. You can even charge them on your Pep Boys credit card. That's $199 for any size, any 4 of our 80,000-mile tires in stock. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
I'm the King Grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
Welcome back, everybody. Under caution here at Pocono International Raceway as Bobby Labonte's car is now being taken, as you can see, back to the garage area. And barring a remarkable turnaround and a big old fix, this will be the first DNF. The first time that team has not finished in all of 1996. I'm Eli Gold with Phil Parsons, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, and Randy Pemberton. And now joining the broadcast, and tickled to have him along from Blairsville, Georgia, Bill Elliott is on the phone line with us. Bill, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Wish I was there.
I bet. Happy Father's Day to you. How you feeling?
I feel great. I've got a feeling I'm going to go back to Birmingham next week. And hopefully they'll give me some more good news. When I was there last week, they said that bone was healing good and it was looking good, but they still wouldn't give me a definite time. But still, it looks like, late July, 1st of August.
Certainly in time, maybe for Indianapolis. Bill Elliott with us from Blairsville, Georgia. How tedious is all of this rehab? How tough is it to motivate yourself, get out there and go through all of this painful rehab?
Well, it's a whole different deal. You feel better than what you can actually do because, a week or so ago, they said, I got to feel so good. They said, now, if you do something and mess this thing up, you're going to be way behind the game. And, it could, if you do something right now, it could take you out the rest of the season the way they had to fix this particular break. And I know like I said before, when I was in the hospital, Darryl called me. He said, don't rush it. I mean, a race or two, one way or the other, at this point in time, isn't going to be too critical. I mean, I want to get back as quick as I can, but I still want to be 100%. Don't have to worry about, getting bumped around. And, the way these cars are today, I mean, look at Pocono, for example. How many cars broke the track record, how fast the racetrack is. One little mistake, and you never know when you're in this. As the racing is today, it's hard to get away from that.
Exactly. We're looking at Todd Bodine, who has your McDonald's Ford on the racetrack now, working, as you know, this first caution, and we're riding along with Todd at this moment. Hey, tell me something. If I put your wife, Cindy, on the phone right now and said, what kind of a patient is your husband? I dare say you've been a booger bear hanging around the house because you want to be out at the racetrack, huh?
Well, I wasn't too bad the first week or so, but once I got to realize that things were going to be okay, then I got pretty bad. But because you can only sit around so much. I've been active all my life and very busy. I worked hard on the race cars when I started, and it's just hard not to be doing something. I mean, it was just the point that you just had to make yourself stay there, and it's knowing it's for your own good.
I hear you. Well, listen, Billy, you've been very kind to share some time on Father's Day with all of us and all of the folks who are watching on TNN. We look forward to seeing it at the racetrack real soon. I know Todd's going to do a good job for you out there today.
Well, I think he will. I really miss all the fans up there. That's a great area. A great bunch of people around there. I've got fans all over the country. I'll be back in the car soon. Thanks for all the cards and letters. I'll miss all y'all and hope to see you soon.
Take care, Bill. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you, Eli.
Appreciate it. Bill Elliott joining us live on the phone from Blairsville, Georgia. Right now, Todd Bodine has his car in 24th spot as we really had very little racing. And there, Joe Nemechek is on the pit lane again, making one more stop. Meanwhile, Bobby Labonte is in the garage area as Derek Cope leads here at Pocono. Randy, let's hear from Bobby and find out what he has to say.
Bobby, you appear to be all right. Obviously, walked from the infield care center. Your recollections of the wreck, what happened?
Oh, well, we're all just trying to stay in line, or a lot of us were anyway, and I was behind Dale Earnhardt, just trying to go single file, get the first of the race sorted out and just kind of be there, but there's a couple cars that went by me off of the tunnel turn, and, I had a chance to do that earlier, but I just chose to stay in line. I guess a couple of them got there before I did, and somebody must have got to my left rear or something, and just didn't outget him to the corner.
Did you look at your car?
I didn't have to. I felt it.
Good answer right there. Wasn't that a classic line? Very unusual, too, for these NASCAR machines to see that type of flame. But fortunately, Bobby's just fine. And you saw the track folks were there immediately to make sure there were no further problems. We are live here at Pocono International Raceway. Derek Cope leading for the first time this year.
When it comes to roping a steer, folks in Grand Junction, Colorado will tell you that Ron Markin can ride with the best of them. And when it comes to overhauling an engine or rebuilding a carburetor, well, he can do it all. You see, when Ron's not riding a horse for fun, he's turning a wrench for a living. So he buys a lot of parts, mostly from AutoZone. Sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Ron knows that when you want the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Maybe it's because their frames are welded instead of bolted. Or because their decks are stamped from a single piece of steel. Or maybe it's the fact that they have the highest resale value in the industry.
Oh, hey, I always wanted one of these. Thanks.
But the truth is, when people are asked what kind of lawn tractor they'd like as a gift,
Happy birthday, Dad.
most say the same thing.
What'd you say to her?
So, when are we going to get married?
But you didn't go out with him. You just wasn't my type.
John and Robin Berry, exclusively Lisa, Tuesday, TNN.
Why is everyone watching pay-per-view?
I don't know.
You want a hint? It stars a crowing duck, laughing sheep, and one cool pig.
Looks like fun.
It's easy to order, and everyone watches for one low price.
What about the cat?
Cats and dogs included.
Good idea.
It's the hit movie everyone's cheering about. Babe. Tune into a great time.
Are you in for some fun?
Order Babe at home on pay-per-view.
Beautifully done.
The Shark Attack is back, and Monday night it's the USBL champion Florida Sharks versus the Tampa Windjammers at the Shark Tank in the Manatee Civic Center. Call for tickets now, 927-DUNK.
We are back at Pocono International Raceway, getting set to go back to green. Derek Cope ahead of Hut Strickland, Jeff Gordon. Ricky Rudd's moved up 5 spots. He's in 4th. Dale Earnhardt has moved up 5 spots. He will restart in 5th. Green flag now here at the track after we wrap up the first caution of the afternoon.
Eli, you always hear people say we need single file restarts. Look at this, 5 wide already. So how they start 2 abreast or single file has nothing to do with they're going to race around the racetrack.
We saw the 43 of Bobby Hamilton make that wide move to the inside as we ride with Ricky Rudd in the Tide machine.
Ricky's thinking about making a move on Jeff. You've seen him look to the inside. Jeff is very strong. Now look at him moving in there.
No chance to pass him here at the tunnel.
Ricky's already moved up to 4th position. He started way back in 9th, so he had a good car yesterday afternoon in practice.
Yeah, he did. We had a feature on him yesterday during part of our telecast about all that team was working on, trying to get themselves squared out for 1995 and 96. They had old parts, new parts, store-bought parts, home-built parts last year, changing things over to this year. Mark Martin's got a bunch of folks going by him there, buddy.
You know, we were getting reports that several of the cars were pushing pretty bad in the first part of this race, so he may have a pushing problem or a handling problem of some sort, because you see him moving to the outside there and people going by him on the inside, so Mark's not handling just like he wants to yet.
Good battle for 3rd place now, side by side, middle of your screen. The 10 is Ricky Rudd, the 8 is Hut Strickland. Here comes Earnhardt.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon had already passed Hut Strickland and had opened the door for Ricky Rudd.
You see Hut Strickland keep the fire lit in that number 8 car there, Circuit City car that he drives, and Earnhardt had to back off. He was on the inside and the preferred line, but you can race 2 abreast anywhere around this racetrack.
Looking at the back of the Tide machine for Ricky Rudd. Main straightaway, start-finish line. You saw it flash by.
Here we go, 3 or 4 wide again. Bobby Hamilton likes the inside of the front stretch.
King used to run there too, and Richards was driving that race car.
You know, Kenny Schrader was making the charge towards the front right at first, but you see right now Bobby Hamilton's trying to get by him. If they almost made contact off the corner there, Bobby got real loose coming out of turn 1.
Ward Burton, the 22 on the right of your screen. He's run well. Here goes Rick Mast in the number 1 car. He has had a very quiet weekend, but he's now quietly in the top 10.
Rick Mast said last week he was just a little too impatient. He said that's the best the car had run all year. He said, you know what it's like when you hadn't had a real good run for 2 or 3 races. All of a sudden the car has a chance of winning the race. He said, I just got anxious and run off on the apron, and that lost control of the car.
Riding with Jeff Burton now, following Michael Waltrip. Michael finished second here in 1988 for his best career finish ever. Now up front, we battle for second spot. Behind the race leader, Derek Cope, who's in the 12. There's second, Jeff Gordon and Ricky Rudd.
Hey, look, Ricky Rudd looks to have the quickest car in the racetrack right now, because he had a little bit of a gap behind Jeff Gordon early on when we were showing him, and he's caught him right back, and here he goes to make a move on the inside going into turn 3.
You watch the maturity of Jeff Gordon. He is very young, 25 years old, but he makes all the right decisions. He knows he has a great car, so why race 2 abreast through a corner? He has one of the fastest cars. Now we'll see whether Ricky Rudd can pull away from him or not.
And again, that is a new car here. They hadn't even shaken that machine down before they showed up here in Pocono on Friday morning. It's a new style of car for the team, one that team manager Richard Broom is particularly comfortable with, and it's really showed here this weekend.
I'll tell you, it's great to see Derek Cope running so well.
Isn't it, though?
Eli, it really is.
Derek Cope, the race leader, as you see second place Ricky Rudd, and that's the only separation. Earnhardt's not been able to hang with them right now. He's running 4th, obviously not too shabby, but he is about 25, 30 car lengths behind already. There's 3rd place. And a goodly distance back is 4th place Earnhardt, leading the next pack of machines. There's the spread, you see. Of course, Derek Cope, you know, we talked earlier in the day, he and Rusty Wallace both with those home-built chassis. Steve Levitt and the fellas changing some of the geometry to their liking, because unlike, for instance, Rusty Wallace, who has used predominantly those Ronnie Hopkins chassis, Bobby Allison Motorsports, for whom Derek drives there in the Badcock car, they have really shown no favorites. They've had chassis from most every car builder out there and then some. Now it's in-house, and until this very moment, it's been paying off.
I was talking to one of the rival crew chiefs this morning, Eli, and he said that what Derek Cope's car is basically a Hendrick chassis with a Ford body on it, because the fellow that built the car used to work at Hendrick, so that's basically a Hendrick car with a Ford body on it.
And there are no secrets in this business.
Eli, look at Ricky Rudd. He's really working that wheel over. He's reporting that he may be a tick loose right now. That will better. But right now he has a fast car. As you can see him pulling up on Derek Cope down the front straightaway, looking to the inside, trying to make a move.
Into that high-speed hairpin turn 1. Well, Derek came right back down to the inside in a hurry, didn't he?
That's taking care of business right there.
He likes that lead, Eli.
I would think. First time he has led all year. He has 2 wins in his career, you remember, at Daytona and Dover. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte, Ward Burton, both getting by Bobby Hamilton. They're battling at 8th, 9th, and 10th spot now. They're on the 15th lap. You see upper left-hand corner of your screen, 185 laps remain, as Kenny Schrader brings that group past Ricky Craven.
Now you could see Terry Labonte just for a second check up and give him time to get back in the throttle, and didn't wash out into Ricky Craven's car there. That's heads-up driving. That's giving a guy a break a lot of times. And you talk about a good race car driver that gives you breaks like that. Terry Labonte is one of the best.
Okay, Jimmy Spencer's made a pretty good move. He started back in 18th position. He's well into the top 10 right now.
That's Michael Waltrip in the 21 there, getting by Craven as they start down the Long Pond straightaway on the back stretch over there.
Ricky Craven had a disastrous time here at Pocono a year ago. He crashed the car in qualifying, had all sorts of problems. This year, he qualified 4th. Nothing like seat time, is there?
Oh, boy.
Especially in a place like this.
A place like this. This racetrack is so unique. It's about 3 different types of super speedways. It's really like Indianapolis, one flat corner. Down in the first corner is kind of like Michigan, and then the back straightaway, as you go in across the turn is like Milwaukee. So you really have one corner that you're not set up for, no matter how good your car is.
Kenny Schrader coming at you in 6th.
There's another thing that the guys out there are doing that we haven't talked about is they're shifting.
That's right.
This is the only basically oval track that we run on that the guys shift. And what they'll do, Eli, they'll shift from 3rd to 4th, right about the start-finish line, maybe a little bit beyond. And then they go down in turn 1. There's a battle for the lead. Ricky Rudd took the lead going in the tunnel turn over Derek Cope.
But let's see if he can keep it down low, or if Derek can sneak by on that north chute now with help from Jeff Gordon. We've seen these maneuvers before.
There you see
Earnhardt's in the mix of
there
that.
you see it. He went from 1st to 3rd in one corner there. Of course, Jeff Gordon could see that Derek Cope was going to make the move, so he just counter-checked and went on the bottom. From 1st to 3rd went Ricky Rudd.
So Cope continues to show the way, although it was an eventful 2.5 miles. Now, back to what you were talking about, Phil, with the shifting. 3rd gear is the 1-to-1. 4th gear is technically overdrive, but there are different styles. Some fellas shift in the middle of the corner. Some shift coming out. Some shift going in. Others will also shift at the other end of the racetrack as well. So it's not just one particular idea. That's 4th place now you're watching as Hut Strickland works to the inside of Dale Earnhardt. Good scramble going to the tunnel.
We'll see if Dale Earnhardt makes his patented move. He backed off, let Hut go, and usually he tries to get back underneath somebody, but that time he didn't.
Now back up front, Ricky Rudd wants 2nd. He's got it, and this time woes it down low, but Derek Cope enjoying the largest lead he's had today. That's typical of NASCAR at Pocono. 5 car lengths is a large lead. We are at Pocono International Raceway. Glad you're with us here on TNN Motorsports.
Imagine a satellite system that turned digital signals into vivid pictures and CD quality sound. What would it look like? How big would it be? Oh, about 18 inches. The RCA Digital Satellite System. Customized programming and the power of digital technology. Now in a convenient take-home size.
Hurry over to Radio Shack
and check out the new RCA DSS system.
I guess we'll walk into Radio Shack.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3, Power Plus, and Power Premium gasolines are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks. And you may feel like you've left your old car behind.
Oh, add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
That's right. That's exactly right. How am I supposed to explain that to the client?
We have no time.
This is Jeff.
Hi, it's me.
Hi, what's up?
How's work?
It's busy, very busy. What's up?
Well, do you want to meet me at home for lunch?
No, that's I can't do that right now. I'm in the middle of something and I can't get away. It's a big meeting,
Uh-huh. Have you looked in your briefcase yet?
Oh, you're killing me. Come on.
I left you something this morning.
I'll be home in 10 minutes.
Where does Napa keep over 200,000 different parts? Right up here. Now remember, your belt tension on this is critical. What kind of car is it? Well, I'll sell you all the struts you want, but I wouldn't recommend putting them in without the right tools. I'm sure we have it. Okay, is it a 77 or a 78? Because they changed the carburetor in 78. Actually, that's not a stupid question at all. I know what it used to be. You don't stay at Napa long handing out the wrong answers, and I'm not planning on going anywhere.
Keep America running.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by ProMotion Engine Treatment, is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. The fine folks at Duraloo bringing all of our overhead pictures to you at home on this Father's Day Sunday. Glad you're with us here on TNN Motorsports. as Derek Cope still leads Ricky Rudd and Jeff Gordon. There you see the top three here at the UAW GM Teamwork 500. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Phil Parsons, Glenn Jarrett, Randy Pemberton. That's the crew on hand. Good scramble, middle of the pack now between the Todd Bodine and Sterling Marlin machines. Meanwhile, back up front, Ricky Rudd goes into turn number 1. Grabs the lead, but here comes old Derek Cope again.
He loves that lead. I tell you, he's fighting for it today. See him trying to stay on the inside. Jeff Gordon moving up. They do draft here, just like at Daytona. The straightaways are very long.
Got some horses.
Boy, he's got some bravery, too. He went in that corner pretty hard just now. You see him washing up. Ricky's trying to make a counter move on the inside through the short chute over there.
There's that Earnhardt move we were talking about.
Exactly, and here comes Gordon now. Can't get the low side, but Ricky Rudd shows the way. So Ricky Rudd, who has done well here, has never been able to win, trying to make himself wide to keep Derek Cope behind him, and Rudd's going to lead the lap.
Eli also, look just behind them there in the 8-car. Hut Strickland's made it a 4-car race now for the lead.
There is Hut in the Circuit City 4. Riding with Ricky Rudd now, the race leader. Heading towards the tunnel turn, and Hut Strickland right with them.
I'll tell you that that racing that they were doing up front, that allowed Hut Strickland to catch up some. He's got a real good car, and we'll see now if they get in the line. We'll see if they can put some distance between the third-place car of Jeff Gordon and Hut.
Yeah, that always was a treat to be running in about 4th and see somebody starting a race for the lead all of a sudden. That puts up a tremendous amount of draft, so when you're back here, you close right in on the back bumpers.
Back to the stripe, putting lap number 24 up on the board right now. Across the top of the screen, you see the top 5.
You've got Ward Burton, who passed Dale Earnhardt over there coming off the tunnel turn and moved up to the 5th position.
We told you he was quick here in the final practice yesterday afternoon.
Boy, Hut Strickland's running great, but he just reported to his crew that he has a shifting ball that is loose on the shifting column, so they're going to gray tape it when he stops. That is very aggravating when you have to shift 3-4 times on one lap.
Who was it? Schrader at Sears Point a year ago had to shift with a pliers when the entire shifter came off in his hand.
Boy, look at Hut. He's trying on the outside of Derek Cope there. He's got a very good race car.
We saw the outside work in the ARCA race here yesterday that many of you might have seen on TNN. Paid off for Tim Steele and Mike Wallace in their battles yesterday. Mike Wallace won the race.
What they better do right now is get single file and catch that leader, because Ricky Rudd has a very strong car, and you can see he's opened up about a 4 or 5 car length lead over Jeff Gordon.
There are the front 4. Ward Burton is 5th. Dale Earnhardt now running in the 6th spot. And remember, Pocono and Michigan were the only true tracks where last year Dale Earnhardt did not have a top 5 finish in either race. So this has not necessarily been Dale's track, though he does have 2 victories here. But last year, this and Michigan, where the circuit goes next week, weren't his favorites.
I was talking to Don Hawk, who is Dale Earnhardt's business manager, and he said they finished 8th in one of the races here last year. He said, but we really had about a 15th place car. We were one of the only guys, or the only guy to change tires on a late caution flag, and it ended up getting them about 5 or 6 more positions. But he said, you know, they've really concentrated hard on this racetrack and Michigan next week.
There you see the battle that's working now, middle of the field, 25th, 26th, and 27th. Jeremy Mayfield has 25th. He's in the 98th. The 15 is Wally Dallenbach. The 88th, that is Dale Jarrett. Jeff Bodine also in the picture there. How's Dale Jarrett feeling, Randy? Has he radioed into the crew at all?
Yes, he has, Eli. He said nothing about himself physically as he tries to make a move under Jeremy Mayfield. He said, though, the car's a little bit loose. On the first pit stop, let's drop the track bar, add around the wedge. So he's feeling pretty good. He's working on the car.
Super, and that is the same car they used at Charlotte to dominate there in the Coca-Cola 600. A lot of folks were kind of confiding in the garage that their backup was actually a little quicker than the primary car. Meanwhile, back towards the front, you've got Jimmy Spencer in the 23, Terry Labonte in the 5. That is 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And Ernie Irvan hits the wall, tagged by Todd, or at least Brett Bodine. He'll spin out of control, Bodine will. Dale Jarrett comes down the pit lane to avoid. He is not stopping. He just took the high ground through the pit road, and we are under caution. Caution will fly on the 28th lap. On the quick look we had, looked as though Ernie had tagged the wall, came off the wall, and then Brett Bodine was there and had nowhere to go.
That's been typical of Brett's year this year, Eli. He's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. They've had some real good cars and real good runs with that Lowe's Ford, and just just in the wrong place, just like here today. A lot of damage there on Ernie Irvin's car.
Yeah. Can't see the right side tires, obviously. Don't know exactly how it's tracking, but it can't be real good.
Well, you can see
it's tracking. It's tracking like
the rear end housing turned all the way to the left there, so he's got to go in and fix that one.
He's skating more than a member of the Montreal Canadiens right now. And there you see Brett's machine. He is already out. That's Brett you see on the other side of the wall, I believe. So, yep, there he is being checked out by the folks from the safety and medical crew here at Pocono. And if you read Brett's lips, he said, "I'm okay." He just kind of ran at a racetrack. Let's see what happened, fellas. Let's wait for Ernie's car. Already around.
We couldn't tell whether he had contact or not prior to spinning, but that just turned him around right in front of Brett, and he had nowhere to go.
Well, Brett had nowhere to go either. He just was there, a victim of circumstances.
And you see Dale Jarrett on the right of your screen? He just said the only place that's clear is pit road, and he came hightailing it down. And if you're curious, in an instance like this, you do not get penalized for speeding on pit road as you escape an accident scene.
Just nowhere to go for Brett. He'd already committed up against the wall and already turned around right in front of him.
Did you see Todd Bodine in the 94 bearing down on his brother in the 11?
Wow.
And just yanking that car away? He was looking broadside at his brother's car, middle of that front stretch.
Well, once Brett made contact in the first part of that wreck, he was just along for the ride because all the steering was knocked out of that car. When he hit the second time, he had no control whatsoever over that car.
So we are under caution for the second time this afternoon. We are live at Pocono. 28 laps are in the books, and Ricky Rudd shows the way.
Bug Be Gone from Ortho, the only ready-to-use diazinon bug killer that kills virtually any bug anywhere.
You don't throw just any filter into car number 18.
All the action here in the third quarter. And here's the
which is why only quality Wicks filters make Joe Gibbs' team.
Hey, that's green, 18. Hut, hut. Coach Gibbs, any comments? Well, we're looking pretty good this year. He sees his man. He fires. Yes!
Out at the 33-yard line. Looks like there's going to be an interference call against Joe Young.
Gentlemen, don't quit your day job.
Wicks filters, proud to be a part of Joe Gibbs Racing.
There's no place I'd rather be.
Now at Pep Boys, get a $5 rebate on all Raybestos Pro Stop lifetime brakes. Car, truck, import, or domestic. That's $5 back on Raybestos lifetime brakes. You'll never have to buy brakes again. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 Infinitread radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear Infinitreads. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
Welcome back to Pocono. We hope we can welcome you to Opryland, USA. TNN's Salute to Motorsports at Opryland is coming up in just a very few days. Starts 10 days from now, June the 26th through the 30th. A number of the top stars of NASCAR will be on hand, including Jeff Gordon. For more information, just call that number, 615-889-6611. And that is a phone line that's available to you Monday through Friday. Let's take a look again as they continue the cleanups at exactly what took place. Riding with Mark Martin, he'll get a look at the accident that involved Ernie and Brett Bodine.
Looks like Ernie just got wide, maybe hung the right rear up, maybe in some loose particles of rubber, and the thing just went around.
Very similar to what happened to Dale Jarrett earlier in the week, and when he was qualifying, it just turned around, and of course, chain reaction got Brett Bodine into it.
And there's the aerial view.
Oh.
And there came Brett, nowhere to go. Now watch, and you'll see the 94 come barreling through before, and he just avoided his brother, Todd Bodine, driving and avoiding Brett Bodine.
You know, the track surface looks real wide, but when you're running 140, 50 miles an hour, it's pretty tough.
Riding now with Jeremy Mayfield.
Boy, I'm telling you, where do you go?
Man.
Wow. He went right in between the two wrecked cars there with Jeremy Mayfield.
On the pit lane, the pits should be opening in a moment. Jeff Green has already been on pit road. They are having some carburetor problems on the car that is owned by Dale and Teresa Earnhardt. So Tony Uri and the fellows are checking over the number 14 Racing for Kids Chevrolet. And there you see how your favorites are running on the track. There's the Jeff Green entry. Bright blue colors.
That's one nice thing about this racetrack. If you do have a little bit of trouble, it takes so long at 60 or 70 miles an hour, whatever the pace car is running, to get around here that you have time to work on a lot of things.
Yeah, you rarely lose a lap here unless you've got major significant problems.
But one bad thing, if you ever run out of fuel on the front straightaway here, you cannot coast back around. That's impossible, so you lose a lot of time.
That's true. No banking to speak of. As pit stops now begin, let's see if anybody stays out there behind Elmo.
I don't think so.
Pretty lonely right now.
Joe Nemechek's going to stay out. Well, let's go to Randy Pemberton. He's going to cover pit stops.
DuPont Chevrolet is in. Derek Cope in on pit road, right up the road from him. 4 tires it's going to be for the 24 car. They discussed the possibility of changing 2 tires. Ray Evernham, on occasion, likes to try it to see if the chassis will work on a 2-tire stop. Use it later on down the road. 4 tires done. Extra man over the wall. 24 car down and away. Glenn?
Hey. Okay, Randy, we're down here in front of Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, and a great pit stop for Hut Strickland. They only changed the right side tires. Earnhardt did 4, he's down and away. Rudd did 4, he's down and away. There was a chassis adjustment on Earnhardt's car. They made none on Rudd, even though he reported being just a little bit loose. But Hut Strickland, I believe, only changed the outside tires because he beat them.
So we are going to be seeing a shuffle in the running order because some teams did take 2 tires. Others took 4. We'll reset the order for you as soon as we come back to Pocono.
It's 400 miles of rocky, rutted trails with enough bumps and jumps to shake a truck to pieces. But if you think an endurance race through the Arizona desert is a real torture test for a truck, just imagine what it can do to a battery. That's why Parker 400 winners Dan Smith and Dave Ashley chose a battery they could depend on to go the distance. The Duralast battery. The same Duralast you can depend on for your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
With Best Western's new family plan, you may get discounts to attractions like Six Flags theme parks. Or they do. Maybe coupons for food, giveaways for kids, great offers from United Artists Theaters, and thrifty car rental. Every Best Western gives you so much, and a room for the family at a special family plan rate. Maybe even a deal on a second room for the kids. For family plan reservations, call 1-800-528-1234 or your travel agent.
When you're traveling with your family, stay with our team at Best Western.
Brought to you by Gladiator and Universal Luxury Vans, the official vans of tracks, teams, and drivers throughout the NASCAR world. Call 1-800-445-2825 for a dealer near you.
Here at Pocono, working the second caution flag of the afternoon. Tough break for Kenny Schrader, a stop-and-go penalty with tires getting loose from the team on the pit lane. While he does come in, the crew will check things over, and they'll splash a little more fuel in. They are going to be bringing in Ward Burton as well for a stop-and-go penalty as we work the 32nd lap of 200 here at Pocono International Raceway. Right now, time for an AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,300 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone is the best parts in auto parts.
With pit stop adjustable race cars becoming more and more important, one of the biggest changes we can do now on a pit stop is raise and lower the panner bar without affecting the length of the stop. In the years past, the panner bar could only be raised or lowered 1 inch at a time by taking a bolt out, raising it, putting it back in. That'd make the pit stop way too long. Nowadays, we can raise it as much as 1 inch at a time by just running a jack screw up and down, the same as we do when we're changing the wedge in the car. If Jeff Gordon has a tight race car, we can raise this track bar and make it a looser race car. If he has a loose race car, we can lower this track bar and tighten the race car up for him.
So we thank Ray Evernham, who of course is crew chief for Jeff Gordon's DuPont Chevrolet. On the pit lane, Jeff Burton. We've been seeing some smoke from behind the Exide Ford earlier this afternoon. You see in the back of the car, NASCAR officials are looking beneath the car. Glenn?
Excuse me, Eli. I was talking to Richard Childress there. He was telling me Dale Earnhardt was just a little bit loose. That's the adjustment they made. The problem that Jeff Burton had, yesterday they had a main seal oil problem, and they thought that they had it repaired, that they got the leak stopped, but evidently they didn't. So that was the problem. They were getting ready to have to come in. In fact, they did come in just as that wreck was happening down there off of the final turn. I don't know, is that turn 3, turn 6, turn 8? What is it?
That's turn 3. It's a triangle. Okay, how could you have turn 8 in a triangle? Gotta talk to that boy down there.
Glenn, I'm like you. I thought it was 8 too.
I guess if you had, well, you're still 3 corners, so if you had turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, I guess if you wanted to use conventional numbering, but for triangular purposes, as the field gets the 1 to go.
I can make it be 6, Eli, but I can't make it be 8.
I can't make it be 8. Any way you look at it.
You never run like I did up here.
Ward Burton now coming down the pit lane, running in 5th position, and he will come in for a stop-and-go penalty right now. They are going to fill it up, Randy, while it's in.
Well, the tough break for these guys, like you said, Eli, he was running 5th. They knew they were going to take on 4 tires anyway, so they weren't going to lose some track position with some of those teams that might take on 2 tires. So it's not that disturbing. I talked to a couple of these guys. They think they're running good. They got a shot to win this race.
They do. The MB&A Pontiac has been very, very strong all weekend long. Hut Strickland in the number 8.
Eli, one thing you have to really concern yourself with, when you lose track position here, it is very, very difficult to get back to those lead cars. Even though they took on 2 tires, Ward Burton has to work extremely hard to keep up because of track position. Anything that happens is going to happen in front of him.
As we are about a half lap away from going green, don't forget, folks, Opryland is the official destination of NASCAR. For more information on Opryland, call 615-889-6611. That phone number will be available to you Monday through Friday. Get all information about Opryland. It's a great time. Lots to see. Great hotels. The Opryland Hotel, one of the classiest facilities in America.
It'll be interesting to see how these 3 cars, the 3 leaders we know for sure took on 2 tires, Hut Strickland, Mark Martin, and Robert Presley. So it'll be interesting to see how they compare with Jeff Gordon and all the cars behind him that took on 4 tires.
Carburetor problems continue for Jeff Green, and Tony Uri and the boys, Randy, are pushing that car to the garage.
Well, they thought it was a carburetor problem. They went and got another one. They stuck it on there. Still had a problem, just not firing right. Then they thought it might be a battery or battery cable. They're not going for points, so they're going to go in and try and fix it, and he'll come back out and ride around. But they don't know what the problem is right now.
Jeff Green, that is the NASCAR Busch Series driver, tested here a couple of weeks ago. First time he'd ever seen Pocono International Raceway other than on television. Tough early afternoon for him. Maybe they can get it back. Here we go. Green flag going up on the board. 35 laps are complete of 200. And Wayman Hut Strickland from Calera, Alabama shows the way. And here comes Mr. Earnhardt around Robert Presley. Here comes Rudd in the 10, Gordon in the 24, all around the Skoll machine.
Hey, Jeff Gordon looked pretty good on the outside there. He hung right with him.
Good scramble now. Joe Nemechek, who remember is a lap down, but is running with the leaders right now. is being bypassed by Mark Martin. Joe had a pit stop at lap 4, pit stop again at lap number 6 in the aftermath of his accident with Bobby Labonte. And Mark Martin, remember, he was in 16th before the pit stops. Now he's up near the front. Here comes Derek Cope, who is led. He'll get right by Jeff Gordon. And Rick Mast behind them to try and get around Robert Presley.
Yeah, it's good to have Robert Presley back. You know, he was injured, and now he's back in the 33 car. A lot of talent there, and we're glad to have him back in our Winston Cup racing.
It looks like the 2 tires worked pretty well for Hut Strickland and Mark Martin, but did not work on Robert Presley's car.
Presley continues to backslide just a bit.
Ricky Rudd's car, he does not even need the draft. You see him drop way over on the left side of the racetrack here and pull up on Earnhardt as they start into the tunnel turn. You can see he has a very, very good race car. Earnhardt's not letting off this time, though. He's holding it there.
Oh, here comes Derek Cope for 3 wide.
Somebody's got to give. You can't run 3 wide here.
2 wide's hard enough at this racetrack.
So Cope makes the pass. Earnhardt goes by. Rudd's in line. You see ahead of Jeff Gordon. Working lap number 35 of 200 here at Pocono. We are live on TNN Motorsports. Glad you're tuned in on this Father's Day Saturday, or Sunday at least.
That looked a little more like Earnhardt that we know. He's been backing off in the last couple of races and giving people breaks, but that time he went on in the corner, and that's typical of number 3 of Earnhardt.
They've been incredible lately, Dale Earnhardt, really. 22 last races, 4 wins, 18 top 5s, 20 top 10s in their last 22. There's Mark Martin now, very much in the hunt for the lead. Glenn, what in the world did they do to get the car working like this?
Well, Eli, a while ago, Mark just didn't like the car. It was pretty loose with a lot of traffic behind him, so he just backed off through the field and found a gap there, ran behind. Well, in fact, he was running behind Ernie Irvin when that wreck happened. But they came in this time under the pit when they all pitted. They only changed 2 tires. Steve Bill told me the reason they did it now, hey, this is the perfect time to try it to see if it works. We might need to do it later on. And the reason that I thought there might be 8 turns is I raced here one time and wrecked off of turn 3 or 6, and I turned around so many times I thought there were 8.
That explains that.
That's why he thought there was 8 corners here.
Derek Cope inside of Earnhardt. That's for 3rd spot now.
Boy, I tell you what, Derek Cope is strong today. You see Ricky Rudd getting in the draft where they're heading towards the tunnel turn. 3 wide going in there. Here comes Ricky.
You couldn't do that on the old pavement.
Well, you could, but the man on the outside would have a heart attack almost when you did that.
See, Ricky Rudd has made a lot of moves here, a lot of passes. We've got Dale Jarrett coasting on the pit road at a very slow speed.
And it looks as though he might not even be under power as we watch battles on the racetrack. Dale Jarrett is on the pit lane. What's the story down there?
Well, first of all, Eli, he said the oil pressure went. Then he came back over the radio and said, guys, the motor broke. He may not make it to the garage area.
Well, he has made it to the pit lane as the hood goes up now, but a tough weekend to say the very least for Dale Jarrett. If you weren't with us earlier, if you haven't heard, he had an accident at qualifying Friday, cracked a rib on his left side, broke a bone beneath his right knee. Now they push the car to the garage, 38 laps complete, and apparently their day is done. Now up front, Hut Strickland still showing the way to Mark Martin. They are 1st and 2nd. Derek Cope is 3rd, Earnhardt 4th, Rudd 5th, Gordon is 6th, Mast is 7th, Spencer is 8th, Jeff Bodine is 9th, and Michael Waltrip 10th. Turning laps in the 163.5-mile-an-hour range right now for Hut Strickland.
Boy, Hut is really getting around this racetrack. He's not giving up anything anywhere on the racetrack. He's running very well through the corner, great down the straightaways.
We are live at Pocono International Raceway as Hut Strickland and Mark Martin pace the field, but we're still very early, and Jack Roush knows
it. You were chicken as a little kid. You were chicken as a bigger little kid. And now that you're grown up, you've got one last chance to do something really, truly daring.
Chicken pizza?
Sure, we know it sounds scary. But come on, you can do it.
Great.
Sure it is. With 100% chicken breast and 100% Pizza Hut pizza, it's delicious. You'll never be chicken again.
Hi, what's your name?
we stand corrected.
If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it.
If I wasn't here, I wouldn't have believed it.
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
These people just witnessed an amazing demonstration. We put this Duraloop treated engine through the ultimate torture test. We drained all the oil, all the water, then flooded it with a fire hose. It kept on running because Duraloop protects your engine like no other product can.
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it myself.
Now let Duraloop make a believer out of you. Duraloop, peace of mind in a bottle.
Monday on TNN. Get your front row seat. Join host Ricky Skaggs, Patty Loveless, Jim Lauderdale, and Ralph Stanley. CMT presents Monday Night Concerts, 8 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
On the entire west coast of Florida, there's only one sandbar. A fabulous location right on the Gulf of Mexico. Fresh native seafood, cool tropical drinks. Music every evening with the soothing sounds of the Gulf of Mexico sunset accompanying your lunch or dinner. And sunsets, perfect sunsets every night. Come to Anna Maria Island. Experience the sandbar. There's only one.
Thank you for calling Sam Satellite City.
I've got some questions about that direct satellite system that I just bought.
Yes, ma'am.
Why can't I get all my favorite channels like I used to get with cable?
To receive all the same channel combinations which are currently available on your cable system, you'll probably have to subscribe to more than one programming supplier.
Will that cost more than cable?
It just might.
You didn't tell me that.
You didn't ask.
And why can't I get my local stations anymore?
To get local programming, you'll also need a regular antenna.
A regular antenna?
We have an excellent selection of regular antennas.
I want my cable back.
Welcome back, everybody. It looks rather benign out there right now with Hut Strickland showing the way. While you were gone, Mark Martin led lap number 41, but then very quickly found himself shuffled back in traffic, and Hut Strickland took the lead again at lap 42. And Mark Martin caught back in traffic there. You see him in the 6th car behind Jeff Gordon, who battles Earnhardt now for 5th.
Here comes Mark trying to make a move on the inside. He got caught in a bad spot on the outside a while ago, but look at Mark Martin make a move there.
Mark took the lead at lap 41. Hut Strickland got loose in the number 1 corner, and then Martin pulled him off the first turn and then took the lead for a lap. Here now is a scramble back for 2nd spot, which is won by Derek Cope over Ricky Rudd. So Derek now running in the 2nd spot behind the race leader, Hut Strickland.
Strickland's been able to maintain his speed with only the 2 tires. He's, you know, the 3 cars that only changed 2, he's by far been the best car. Now, Mark Martin's also pretty good, but not quite as good as Hut Strickland right now. He tried to make a move on Jeff Gordon going on in turn 1.
You watch Derek Cope and Rudd, though. These 2 cars are like a rocket ship. A brand new chassis there on the 12 car of Cope, and it is really working well. I guarantee you one thing. It's new, but there'll be a lot of people looking at that chassis at the next race.
In the garage area, Dale Jarrett has joined the list of attrition along with Bobby Labonte, Ernie Irvin, Brett Bodine, and apparently Jeff Green. Let's get an update from the garage.
Yeah, Garrett, I know you can't believe it, and we can't really either. Sort of the same problem you guys had at Charlotte, but went on to win that race.
Yeah, I guess it's the same thing. I guess we thought we cured it, but we hadn't, and we were lucky there and not quite as fortunate here.
So a bolt backed out?
Yeah, it broke, I think, and you know, we don't know why it may have, but like I say, it's the 2nd time, and we got away with it 1 time, but not this time.
Dale Jarrett.
Boy, what a weekend that man, Chad. So Dale Jarrett in the garage area. Jeff Green has just returned to the track. He is a couple of laps down now after the repairs to either the carburetor or what have you that Tony Urian's looking for beneath the hood. There are Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. That's 4th place, fellas.
They're running about the same right now. The 2 cars are very even. You see Jeff Gordon just a little bit loose across the tunnel turn, but all in all, the car seems to be working well. He and Earnhardt are sitting back there running.
Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd there in 3rd. He's hounding in the tire tracks of Derek Cope. Hut Strickland continues to lead.
Well, if drafting means anything, they should be able to run Hut Strickland down. You see him closing in down near going in the corner there. The 2 cars drafting together should pull up on Hut Strickland in just a few laps from now.
In a
Ricky Rudd, here he goes trying to make another pass on the 12 car, Derek Cope. Ricky Rudd has attempted a lot of passes today. He may not have made them all, but he'll store that information, and when it comes down to the end of the race, if he has to make a pass, well, he'll have a good idea what works and what doesn't.
At the same time, Jeff Gordon has just passed Dale Earnhardt out on the racetrack to move up one more spot to 4th position as we work lap number 45 of 200. Just tuning in, 2 cautions. Bobby Labonte and Joe Nemechek got together on the 3rd lap. Then Ernie Irvin and Brett Bodine together on lap number 28. So those 2 yellows have slowed the speed just a tad. There's Jimmy Spencer in the 23, the 7, Jeff Bodine, the 75, Morgan Shepherd. They're running now in 8th, 9th, and 10th. And here comes old Rick Mast in the 1, challenging Earnhardt for 5th.
Well, at Dover, Rick Mast had one of the fastest cars there. Let's see who wins the drag race into the corner. Looks like Mast takes the position.
Blows right by him there. You know, Rick has only had 1 engine failure in 11 starts this year. That's an earmark of that team, has been for years.
I talked to Kevin Hamlin this morning, and he said they ran really well in last practice yesterday afternoon. So he said, hey, I don't know how I'm going to run today, but we were pretty good yesterday afternoon. He looks pretty good so far.
Kevin Hamlin being the crew chief for Rick Mast. Good battle up front. Ricky Rudd for the lead. Trying to get around Hut Strickland. Can he make it stick to the outside?
Wow, on the outside.
That's power.
Yes, sir. That's a power move. That is for sure. But Hut Strickland is probably getting the word from his crew. Hey, listen, Ricky Rudd's a very fast car. Let's ride with him a little while, see what he's doing. Maybe pick up a groove change. It might be a little bit quicker.
Peter Guile and Pro Motors doing the engines for Ricky Rudd's team. But Hut's right behind him there.
You also have to remember, too, Eli, is that there's 150 laps to go in this race, too. So these guys don't want to use up all their equipment in the first quarter of the race.
Tell this guy he's going back for the lead again.
As I say that, Hut Strickland pulls underneath Ricky Rudd.
And to the stride, that'll be Hut, I believe, by inches, had it been the final lap of the day. Last year, this is not unusual for Pocono as that battle for the lead continues. Last year, 37 lead changes among 13 drivers in the July race. And look at this scramble.
Boy, that's getting awful close to a wreck right there. You see them start moving down and taking part of the room away from the guys on the inside. All you have to do is touch that car on the outside, and away he goes.
Ricky Rudd just says, I'll watch it from the rear view.
Tell you how tough Derek Cope is. That car has been back to 4th, all the way back up to the lead, back to 4th 2 or 3 times, and still maintains. Look how he pulls up in this flat part of the racetrack. That car is very strong.
It sure is.
And you know what's so rewarding too, fellas? On Friday here, the crew chief for Derek Cope, Jimmy Fennig, was wearing one of the work shirts that they have around the shop, and the name over the pocket on Friday said Joe. Yesterday, I saw him in the garage on the work shirt. The name over the pocket said Earl. This is for Jimmy Fenner. I said, what the heck's going on? Yesterday you're Joe, today you're Earl. I said, we just are on a tight budget. We wear whatever shirts are around that belong to guys who used to work here. As long as it fits you, you wear it. That's why this is particularly rewarding to see Bobby Allison's team running up front. 6 lead changes among 4 different drivers thus far, as we are in the mid-stages of the UAW GM Teamwork 500.
Some of the most admired cars you'll see are owned by the guys who know cars best. They're ASC certified master mechanics, and the #1 brand of motor oil these guys use in their own cars and trucks is Valvoline, makers of Durablend, the leading semi-synthetic for a cleaner engine due to better control of harmful deposits. So use the oil the mechanics who take care of your car use to take care of theirs. Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of life that helps to get you going. When you're on your own out on the road, it's such a comfort knowing you got the snake light from Black & Decker. I get around, I'm the snake light.
I'm the king grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
How far can you go on $199? Well, come to Pep Boys and you can go 80,000 miles. Because right now, you can get 4 of our 80,000-mile tires for just $199. That's a full set for under $200. Oh, the roads you'll travel, the sights you'll see, the money you'll save. You can even charge them on your Pep Boys credit card. That's $199 for any size, any 4 of our 80,000-mile tires in stock. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Imagine a satellite system that turned digital signals into vivid pictures and CD quality sound. What would it look like? How big would it be? Oh, about 18 inches. The RCA Digital Satellite System. Customized programming and the power of digital technology. Now in a convenient take-home size.
Hurry over to Radio Shack
And check out the new RCA DSS system.
I guess we'll walk into Radio Shack.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by Promotion Engine Treatment, is brought to you by Pep Boys. 26,000 items at the guaranteed low price. Tires and service too. Everything but gas. And by RCA, changing entertainment again.
Yep.
That is a scramble that we've been watching for the last few moments as Ricky Rudd works now, trying to hang on to a spot there, works the inside of the racetrack. He battles with Hutch Strickland for 3rd spot. Derek Cope is the race leader. After Ricky Rudd took the lead at lap number 49 and led for lap 50 as well, it swapped around to Derek at lap number 51.
And Jeff Gordon's on a run right now. That car is really handling well. He's going across the tunnel turn, probably quick as any car out there. You see him in 2nd spot, moving in on Derek Cope as they head down into turn 1.
13 career NASCAR Winston Cup wins for Jeff Gordon, tying him with Dick Rathman and the late Tim Richmond. At this age, he's only 1 win behind Dick Hutcherson and Leroy Yarbrough.
Wow, that's impressive. I tell you what, he's only going to get better, too. That's the thing that everybody says. And he's a great driver right now. National championship at 24 years old. What a guy.
He's a talent. The folks at Napa bringing you all of the rundowns that you're seeing across the top of the screen here. Napa, we keep America running. We are just 4 laps away from the special charity lap today. Who's going to get that money from Heinz? Right now, it's either Derek Cope or Jeff Gordon. The folks from Heinz have a payment on the line today to the charity of the driver, favorite charity for the driver who leads at lap 57. Right now, lap 54 up on the board. It's Gordon and Cope battling, and Hutt, and Earnhardt, and Rudd and Martin.
You see everybody trying to get the great drafting help that they can get down the straightaway. Derek Cope is so strong, he went by Gordon on the outside, though, in the middle of the corner. He is extremely strong.
If you're curious, too, Kenny Schrader and Ward Burton, the 2 guys who had to make the stop-and-go penalties earlier, they're all the way back to 22nd and 23rd right now, so they're cutting through the field pretty well, Phil.
They are, but that just goes to show you what track position will do. I mean, Ward Burton was in the top 5 when the caution flag came out. We've run a number of laps since the green flag came back out, and he's still mired back in 23rd position, and he's passed a lot of cars.
Derek Cope from Spanaway, Washington. Could have been a pro baseball player. Had some knee problems, though. Chicago Cubs were looking at him long and hard as a catcher. Just never did pan out. Field is panning out now, trying to chase him down.
Eli, I've never seen this many cars this long into a run after a caution flag this competitive. It's got to be the track surface.
The new pavement, sure.
Wow, you could see there. Derek Cope did something there impossible to do. I mean, he passed Jeff Gordon back. Now they're fighting going into tunnel turn. He has to back off there.
And Hutch Strickland has that 2nd spot ahead of Cope and Earnhardt. You know, sometimes you'll ask the fellas in the garage about a new paving job, and somewhere you're going to get a dissenting vote. There was not one. I mean, we, honest to goodness, went to virtually every single driver, ARCA and Winston Cup, and to a man, They said when Clarence Cagle came in here, the Mattioli family, it's the best paving job right there with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that they've experienced.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, anybody that ever drove on this racetrack can tell you that's the best thing they could have ever done for this racetrack, because the pavement is absolutely worn out. Now they have a great surface and look for racing.
That's among the top handful. Rusty Wallace is getting into the picture soon. He and Bobby Hamilton scrambling for 10th behind this pack of cars. This is why this racetrack is jam-packed and why the Mattiolis are talking about another 10,000 seats and so on. The uniqueness of this facility gives you some special shows. There's Mark Martin. He's running in 6th spot right now. Behind him, Rick Mast in 7th.
Boy, that's a great shot. That's exactly what the driver sees. You see him jumping around just a little bit. That means you're right on the apron when you start out how smooth the car is out towards the front straightaway.
And now working at lap 57, the race leader, Jeff Gordon. And Jeff Gordon has won the Heinz 57 charity lap. Heinz donating $1,000 to the charity of choice for Jeff Gordon, who led the race here at lap number 57. The Heinz Charity Lap brought to you by tangy Heinz 57 steak sauce. Let's eat. Okay. Let's eat. That's what it says here.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. We are live at Pocono International Raceway. Glad you're tuned in on TNN Motorsports with Phil Parsons and Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Randy Pemberton, and a cameo visit earlier from Bill Elliott. I'm Eli Gold. That's the battle for the lead. Jeff Gordon, Hut Strickland, around Johnny Benson. Johnny crashed here in testing a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to come down the pit lane. The Pennzoil Pontiac will come to the attention of Doug Hewitt and that crew. All of those cars you see now are in contention for the lead. None in that huge pack up front is a lap down. As a matter of fact, at this stage of the day, 32 cars still on the lead lap. Let's see if Hut Strickland can muscle past Jeff Gordon.
Boy, he's got to feel so good about this car. I mean, the car has not really performed this whole year the way he wanted it to. And here, look at this car, dominating this race, running very well, passing one of the fastest cars in practice here, Jeff Gordon. Now he's out there doing his thing in front of all this crowd. It's got to help him as far as his sponsors.
Hut Strickland ran well last year.
Yes, he did.
In the Bernstein car.
He ran well here. He ran well at Dover. Philippe Lopez is the crew chief for that team. Hut came home in the top 5 here a season ago in 5th position. We're working lap 60 at 200. We are live as Bill France Jr. to the right of your screen, the president of NASCAR, enjoys this day.
If it's Saturday night, it's steak night. That's just the way it's always been.
And I always use my favorite steak sauce.
It's tradition.
Excuse me?
What?
Yeah, sometimes I'm in the mood for something different.
Something rich, robust,
Something zesty.
hearty.
Delicious.
It's there, and it's great.
Mm.
A steak sauce for me? Are you serious?
Can you do that?
Yeah, all right.
New A1 Thick and Hearty. Steak has never been done like this before.
The Pontiac Firebird waits. 305 horsepower comes to life. Ram air induction turns air into fuel in a rush. Firebird, you're ready to fly.
It's an engine protection breakthrough. New Lubricator 2001 Super Engine Treatment. In independent lab tests, Lubricator 2001 prevented engine metal wear 30% better than Slick 50 and 2 times better than Duralube. Lubricator 2001 contains a revolutionary synthetic friction modifier, XL17, which bonds to critical engine parts to reduce metal wear like no petroleum product. Get the one that beats Slick 50 and Duralube. Lubricator 2001 Super Engine Treatment.
What do you get when you take Wendy's crispy chicken nuggets, 5 tender pieces of all white meat, served with one of 4 savory sauces, and make them just 99 cents every day?
You get busy.
Wendy's crispy chicken nuggets, now just 99 cents.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 Infinitred radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear Infinitreads. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
The American Speed Association. It's a different breed of racing. Total determination unleashed on cutting-edge racing vehicles. It takes metal, nerve, with no room for let-up. It's a convergence of contenders, all vying for just one thing, to win. The ASA AZ Delco Challenge Series Kansas City Pontiac Dealers Pontiac Excitement 300, Saturday, June 29th at 9 p.m., 8 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back, everybody. A quick reminder, you can race into the all-new and official store of NASCAR. Visit NASCAR Thunder. It's open at the Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta, Georgia. NASCAR Thunder, the official store of NASCAR, with a huge selection of anything you'd like from the sanctioning body or your favorite driver. It's all available at NASCAR Thunder. 62 laps on the board right now. There are some of the fellows we've not seen in a bit. We're looking back at 22nd, 23rd position, and so on. Kyle Petty in the 42, Joe Nemechek in the 87. You've got Kenny Wallace there in the 81, the Square D machine. Dick Trickle in the Heilig-Myers car. That scramble you're seeing right there is for 25th position in the case of Wallace. Nemechek is yet another lap down, the 87. There's the 90. Dick Trickle took over from Mike Wallace earlier in the week as the driver for Junie Donlevy, and right behind them, Darrell Waltrip. Now for third spot. Earnhardt inside of Cope. Rudd inside of Cope. Then what makes Mark Martin decide which way to go there? Just because he was getting to turn one and have to do something?
Yeah, you want to get back in the preferred line, and even though you can race very fast on the outside in 1 and 2, the preferred line is right around the base of the racetrack.
Some of your other favorites, Terry Labonte, started 11th. He's now running in 14th, if you're curious. Haven't talked much about Ricky Craven after starting 4th. He is now all the way back in 30th position, though still on the lead lap. And there's Ricky Rudd. We ride with him in turn 3. Now pit stop's about to begin. Peeling off is Hut Strickland. The Circuit City Ford will be first to pit. He will pit at lap number 65. So the first team is in. We expect most all of the other leaders within the next few moments. Clint?
Eli, he's way down at the far end of pit road, and it's a long, long way. I know you have to come out at 4,500 RPMs, 65 miles per hour. They will go with 4 tires this time, obviously, because they only did 2 last time. Hutt and his crew chief, Felipe Lopez, were talking on the radio about what they were going to do, and Hutt said, hey, man, can we keep these tires on the whole race? Felipe said, I don't think they're going to last quite that long, but great wear out of the left side tires. Everybody's saying that they can probably get just 2 tires. 21.02 seconds, not a bad pit stop.
Not bad at all. 34 laps after their last stop. Kenny Wallace also in at lap number 65. As Jeff Gordon shows the way. None of the other leaders coming down the pit lane quite yet. Lap 64, 65 on the board. Let's go back a couple of laps. See if you see a problem with Ricky Rudd's machine. Take a close look there. See that little smoke? A little touch of smoke. What do you think? Did they maybe get a tire rub there? It was tough to tell. Did he touch the brakes a little hard?
I don't think he would be shifting right there, so I don't think it came from the engine. I'm not really sure what that was.
He's certainly not backing out. There had been some contact between he and Earnhardt earlier in the day, but that was the first time we had ever noticed that puff of smoke from Ricky.
We can put these young guys to work there. You can see the dashboard. It ought to tell you. I could read the fuel pressure is on 8 pounds, so he's not having any fuel problems. Here we have the guys going down pit road now for some stops.
Mark Martin, Bobby Hamilton is in, Rusty Wallace is in, Jeff Burton is in, Sterling Marlin will pit. This is lap number 66 of 200 here at Pocono. Mark Martin running in 7th spot. Loy Allen makes a stop as well here at lap number 66. Glenn Jarrett's down there.
Well, Eli, they have gone the other way right now. They changed only right side tires a while ago. This time, they're only changing left side tires. 13.8 seconds pit stop. Different strategy entirely for Mark Martin. Left sides only. So, man, these guys are getting great tire wear, both left and right side. Got to be that new pavement, man. That's unheard of.
Rusty Wallace, we told you, in for a stop. Also in now at the other end of the pit lane, Randy McDonald. First race he has qualified for this year after starting on the pole yesterday for the ARCA cars. Rick Mast is in, Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, and Bobby Hillen. Todd Bodine is in. Lake Speed, here comes Jeremy Mayfield and Kyle Petty. Most everybody peeling off the racetrack now. Craven is in as Gordon continues to lead. Wally Dallenbach, John Andretti is in, Kyle Petty in for service. All of this at lap 67 under green.
These are scheduled pit stops right now, Eli. You'll see all the leaders probably within the next 2 or 3 laps probably be in the pits.
Darrell Waltrip here trying not to go a lap down. Jeff Gordon trying to lap the 33rd place runner. And nope, he's not going to come down pit road this time either.
Wow, I tell you one thing, they must know exactly how much fuel that car uses, because if they run out, hanging out there like that, I tell you, they won't coast this whole lap around.
Here come Derek Culp and Ricky Rudd. Michael Waltrip is in. Robert Presley is in. Steve Grissom is in. Randy?
Well, the 12 team goes to work on the right side. They're just as proud of their pit crew as they are this brand new race car. They want to have a dynamite stop here. Right side looks good so far. They come around for the left side tires. Second can of gas going in. Good pit stop going on so far for the Badcock cars. Glenn?
Okay, Ricky Rudd's down here, Randy. He's in. They've already gone to the right side. This will be a 4-tire change. Rudd changed 4 tires a while ago. They're taking no chances down here. They want to look at the tires after 30-some hot laps on them. Rudd is down in the way, but it was a 4-tire change here. They lost about 10 seconds to Mark Martin on that pit stop.
Now Jeff Gordon comes down the pit lane. Ray Evernham, Ed Guzzo, and the crew waiting. This will be lap number 69. The pit stop for the race leader, Randy Pemberton.
Rainbow Warriors going to work. Nice clean stop by Gordon. Extra man over the wall to clean the windshield. It's going to be 4 tires. They discussed them. Possible chassis adjustments. Not going to make any, which is understandable as well as they're running. Left side tires coming off. Second set going on. Glenn?
Well, Randy Earnhardt has brought the Chevrolet in now, and they're going to the right side. It looks to me like that they're only going to do 2. No, they're going to do both sides. I see the guy with the left side tires here now. They do come around to the left side. Again, another chassis adjustment, this time on the right rear. The adjustment they made a while ago, as Richard Childress told us, because a little loose, it was on the left rear. This time they adjusted the right rear. 4 tires fuel, chassis adjustment. Earnhardt is down in the way with 21.45 seconds.
So all of these pit stops under green. As soon as we come back, all of the stops should be complete. Here comes Terry Labonte. We'll reset the running order for you in a moment. We're at lap 70.
I get here early to stock up on Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil because it gives my engine complete protection.
Me too.
Michael Andretti.
Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility and fight vaporization. And it's the same oil used by championship racing teams.
Empty.
Tough track, huh?
Take it to the stars.
Get a Dream Team basketball with a 12-quart Haviland Formula 3 or 6-quart Haviland Synthetic purchase.
You look at a garage a lot differently when you see who it belongs to, especially Sears Garage, where right now new Bridgestone road handlers are all on sale. When you need a great deal on tires, take a look at our garage. Sears Auto Center.
Well, pit stop's now concluding, and it's all cycled around to those 2 men at the point right now. Over the last few seconds, both Terry Labonte and Ken Schrader have made their scheduled stops. So the leader is now Jeff Gordon. Mark Martin is second, Hut Strickland third, Rusty Wallace is fourth, Derek Culp is fifth, followed by Ward Burton, Ricky Rudd, and Morgan Shepherd.
Stay there, boy.
Hey, I'll go get the beer.
Just a cold one isn't cold enough. Crack open the refreshing taste of cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Stay cool.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
NASCAR fans, sail with the Winston Cup Stars December 9th through 13th on the second annual NASCAR Family Cruise to benefit the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. Enjoy NASCAR festivities, parties, and activities, plus stops in the Bahamas. Call now for 5 days and 4 nights on the Big Red Boat, leaving December 9th.
Hi, I'm Bruce Davison.
I'm Lisa Pelican.
15 years ago, most people thought it couldn't happen to them. Today, we know better. AIDS has taken over 320,000 lives nationwide.
It could happen to someone you love. Turn on your radio or television June 21st and experience a day of compassion. It could save lives.
Be aware.
Be safe.
Be compassionate.
June 25th on TNN.
Honky Tonkin's what I do best.
It's a Marty party with Marty Stewart, Leroy Parnell, Delbert McClinton, and Shelby Lynn.
Girl, you can sing.
Well, I try, baby.
Know how to feel. They're trying to sugar.
The Marty Party, June 25th on TNN.
Back at the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, Lake Speed and Jeremy Mayfield right now. That is 18th and 19th spot. As closer to the front, you've got 5th and 6th position on your screen now. Rusty Wallace and Derek Cope running together. Rusty's not led a lap today. Derek Cope has led many. Right now, Terry Labonte is in 3rd spot. When Terry stopped on lap 70 and took on only right side tires, as everything cycled around at the end of the pit stop, he was able to get himself back in 3rd spot.
You could see Hut Strickland losing power there down the front straightaway. Everybody was trying to avoid him. I don't know what happened to his car, but he's definitely off the pace.
Heartbreaker if the problem continues for Hut Strickland. We also saw Kenny Wallace moments ago go to the garage area while you folks were away. So his name is added to the attrition list. They asked to push the car to the garage. Ricky Rudd. He's an 8th. Boyd Burton and Morgan Shepherd. And there's Hut Strickland. My goodness. He was in 4th spot. He has led a good bit of today. Doesn't look as though he's going to win, that's for sure.
No, he's going to have a hard time getting back to pit road. He's coasting very slow through the short chute now, headed towards the long straightaway there, and yeah, he's got enough speed. I don't think he'll bring out a caution.
He just stopped for fuel about 10 laps to go, so it's definitely not a fuel situation.
He's led 19 laps this afternoon. Up front still, Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin. There you see 6th, 7th, and 8th spot as we take you back to the lead now. Remember, Jeff Gordon had a 3.4-second lead before pit stops, but now that lead evaporates. Hut Strickland has made it to the pit lane, so no problems about potentially a yellow here. He has gone by the entrance to the garage area, so he apparently feels that maybe the crew can remedy whatever the problem is. Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett. He's checking in with Felipe Lopez, the crew chief.
Well, Eli, they're all scratching their heads right now. We think that there's something wrong with the shifter. If the car is running, definitely is running, so it's not an engine problem. He cannot get the car in gear. They've got a jack out there. They're talking to him right now. They simply did not know what was wrong with it. So, but that is the problem. He's definitely got a transmission problem of some sort. Philippe just pointed toward the garage area, so they're going to have to push him back there, go in and see if they can fix it. Man, what a bad break. What a great day he was having.
Isn't that the truth? Tough to see for Hut Strickland and the Circuit City folks. Meanwhile, good scramble between Jimmy Spencer, the 23. He's inside of Lake Speed. By the way, that 9 car is going to be red next week when we get to Michigan. That's the battle for 16th and 17th position. As you now see Jeremy Mayfield trying to hold off Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, next week when we all go back to Michigan, Lake's car is going to be red in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Melling Tool Company, and they're going to go back to the colors that Melling had on the car when Bill Elliott won the Winston Million in 1985, and then the championship 3 years later. So next year, look for the Spam can to be red.
Hutch Strickland's problem happened. We could tell that he was slowing on the front straightaway about the same time that you shift from 3rd to 4th gear. So I don't know if something happened as he was going to shift from 3rd to 4th gear or what, but that's about the place on the racetrack that the problem occurred.
Give Jimmy Spencer 17th now when he got around Jeremy Mayfield, who is in 18th. Lake Speed is in 19th. Working lap 77 of 200. Jeff Gordon leads. Terry Labonte is second. Third is Mark Martin. Rusty Wallace fourth. Derek Cope is fifth. Sixth is Ricky Rudd, ahead of Morgan Shepherd, seventh. Wartburton is eighth. Robert Presley is ninth. And Jeff Bodine now 10th.
Before cars had phones, cup holders, or even roofs, Mobil Oil was there. When Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic, Mobil was on board. Mobil was in the world's first minivans, in the first space shuttle, and in the tanks of Desert Storm. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
When I was just a little boy, I asked my mother, what should I be? Shall I be handsome? Shall I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera.
Just because your dreams have been crushed doesn't mean your boys have to be. 100% cotton, cut for comfort. Fruit of the Loom. Really, really comfortable underwear.
With new spark plugs, you get improved performance for a while. But only Bosch Platinum has a pure platinum center electrode that's heat fused. So Bosch Platinum reaches its self-cleaning temperature faster for full engine power and improved fuel efficiency over a longer performance life. Which means you'll replace a lot of other things before you change your Bosch Platinums. Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
Can't wait. Boy, you look so right in white, hot white. And you drive me mad, glad. Oh, come out and play gray. And your shirts down my back, black, for nothing to do blue. Just wait till we get our hands on you. Can't wait. Whoa, I just can't wait. Just wait till we get our hands on you.
We are live at Pocono International Raceway with a great idea for you. Why not bring a part of your favorite race team into your own home? You can come to Opryland on June the 29th for the TNN Salute to Motorsports Memorabilia Auction. You can bid on everything, and they've got autographed racing tires all the way to crew uniforms, and the proceeds will go to the National Arthritis Foundation. For more information about the big auction, call 615-889-6611. That phone number available Monday through Friday, and you'll be able to get all the information. That's Bobby Hamilton in 14th, Todd Bodine 15th, Dale Earnhardt way back in 16th. Dale tried to stretch the fuel on that GM Goodwrench Chevy a little bit too far before, and that cost him time on the track as the fuel tank ran dry. It just took him a while to get to his pit stall.
Boy, you run out here on this flat track, you just don't have the momentum built up. You have to slow down so much in the corners here that you can't hardly get back to the pit. So you can see what it did to the track position for Earnhardt.
He's 13 and 2/10 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon, right now. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd and Ward Burton battle for 6th and 7th as they close in on Steve Grissom's machine. Steve is in 30th spot, a lap down. And the green machine, the 75 of Morgan Shepherd, he's in that battle also. He's running 8th. They've made a change on that racing team for Morgan Shepherd. Jerry Kinnan took over as crew chief this week, replacing Troy Selberg, who is still with the organization. They're planning some expansion, and should he so choose, Troy can stay with Butchmock Motorsports, but Jerry Kinnan has taken over as the crew chief effective this week.
Well, you could see Ricky Rudd's car take off towards the wall just a second ago and turn one down here, and he was very lucky to catch it back. He's experiencing some handling trouble. You see him roll out of the throttle there. He lost 2 positions, not just one straightaway there.
Good run for Morgan. Remember, Morgan started in 27th here today. You know, it seems the tougher the track, the better Morgan. He's a good chassis guy, and that kind of fits in a track like this will fit into Morgan Shepherd's style.
It's good to see that car, that Butchmock Motorsports car, run well this week. They meant the graphic just showed he had a finish of 8th at Darlington, but it's been a pretty tough year for him, but he looks like he's pretty good today.
Working lap number 83 of 200. Only 2 caution periods. One at lap 3, Bobby Labonte and Joe Nemechek together. One at lap 28, Ernie Irvin and Brett Bodine.
You see Terry Labonte there. His chassis is off a little bit, too. You can see his fishtail just a little bit coming out of turn 1 there. Once these cars get loose on you, you just have to wait to make an adjustment on pit stops. You see him going back through the field. He was all the way up to 3rd.
We saw 2 tires work for Hut Strickland and Mark Martin earlier. Terry Labonte came in with his teammate Ken Schrader the same lap on lap 70. They both changed 2 tires. It doesn't seem to be working as well for Terry as it did for Mark and for Hut Strickland.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon comes down the main straightaway as he comes through. Is that a piece of plastic on the grill of that car again?
Yeah, and we're getting reports that he is claiming that the car is starting to get hot.
Look at that, right across the big old piece.
You know, that put Terry Labonte out of the Daytona 500 leading, so hopefully it'll blow off or it won't run as hot to blow up the engine on Gordon's car.
Water temperature in the vicinity of 205 degrees, we're being told now from the Jeff Gordon pit. What is critical in water temperature on a race car, buddy?
Well, 205 is not critical. When it gets up around 215 to 220 and then gets over 225, then you're starting to get in trouble.
We saw some of this at Dover a couple of weeks ago here on TNN. And there you see it. It's a clear piece of plastic, but you can clearly see it over the front grille there on the Monte Carlo.
He's really about 20 laps from a scheduled pit stop, so he may have to, you know, if that water temperature gauge keeps climbing, he may have to short stop and pit early in order to get that thing cleaned off.
Although you can do that here at Pocono and it not be disastrous because of how long it takes to run a lap here, darn close to a minute. But you just don't want to do it if you can avoid it, certainly. 85 laps on the board right now as Jeff Gordon shows the way. Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Derek Culp, Ward Burton there in the top 5. Robert Presley's in the top 10, running 9th right now as we are still midway at Pocono.
Engineering, craftsmanship, quality. These are things directly related to the safety of you and your family. That's why Federated stores carry the most trusted names in auto parts, like Monroe, Anco, Champion, Ray Bestis, Borg Warner, Walker, Fell Pro, and Move. When it comes to safety and quality, insist on the best. At Federated Auto Parts, you get only the best.
Goodyear AquaTread revolutionized wet traction design. Now Goodyear introduces the first tire with a lifetime Tread Life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 InfiniTread radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear InfiniTread. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
Race fans, enter the Pocono Raceway Promotion Engine Treatment Fantasy Sweepstakes and have a chance to win trips for two to the July 21st Miller 500 at Pocono, the August 3rd Brickyard 400, and the 1997 Daytona 500, plus $5,000 in cash. To enter the sweepstakes and receive free Promotion Engine Treatment literature, call toll-free 1-800-800-0987 or send your name, address, and phone number on a 3x5 piece of paper to this address. For a complete set of rules and a free Pocono Raceway ticket brochure, call 1-800-RACEWAY.
Bush Boys invade the short track confines of Myrtle Beach. It's a test of survival. With tricky turns and heavy traffic, this tight little oval puts the squeeze on race teams. Last year, Larry Pearson's Stanley Tool Chevy had the hardware to take the victory. Who's got the right stuff this year? From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it's the Bush Grand National Carolina Pride and Vance Auto Parts 250. Saturday, 5 p.m., 4 Central on TNN Motorsports. The American Speed Association. It's a different breed of racing. Total determination unleashed on cutting-edge racing vehicles. It takes metal, nerve, with no room for let-up. It's a convergence of contenders, all vying for just one thing, to win. The ASA AZ Delco Challenge Series Kansas City Pontiac Dealers Pontiac Excitement 300. Saturday, June 29th at 9 p.m., 8 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at the Texaco point standings update brought to you by the Haviland Formula 3 motor oil, folks. They control volatility and fight vaporization. That's last year, 1995. You see where Jeff Gordon is, 106 points out of the lead in third. This year, he's still in third, but 182 points down at this very same time of the season. So that's an interesting comparison from 95 to 96. On the racetrack today, Jeff Gordon's lead is staying fairly stationary right now. He's anywhere from 1.8 to 1.9 seconds ahead of Mark Martin, who is running in the second spot. And apparently, no complaints. That piece of plastic is still there, but it's not costing him anything, at least for the moment.
Eli, the great thing right now is he does not have a lot of traffic around him, so he's getting a lot of fresh air in front of the car. But when he gets up behind a bunch of lap-over cars, then he could have a problem.
He doesn't stay behind them long, though, so
good point.
If you're curious about Derek Cope and Ward Burton, there they are, fourth and fifth spot right now, behind Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace, who are second and third. Meanwhile, if you're just tuning in, Hut Strickland led early today, led 19 laps, but unfortunately his car's being worked on in the garage, Glenn.
And Hut has crawled out of the car, Eli. Hut, man, I hate to see you sitting here. You had a great race car, a transmission problem, and I want to know, you had a problem earlier on with the shifter ball. Was there a vibration in the transmission or something?
No, I'm not really for sure. You know, just about, I guess, going about the second lap there, the shifter ball come off my hand, and you know, I was trying to hold it down to try to, you know, keep it on at least until we could get in and put another one on. But it wasn't meant to be, I guess. You know, we had a bad day with the Circuit City Ford, so we just had to come back next week.
What have you guys done different that you're running so well? You had good run at Dover, good run here. The team looks to have really turned around.
I tell you, I really don't know what we've done, Glenn. You know, it's just a combination of everybody's, you know, the chemistry's getting right every week, and it's getting better and better, and that's really the only way I can explain it. You know, it's just, we're just going through a deal right now, somewhat of bad luck, but, you know, it's just one of them things, you know. I want to take this opportunity to wish all the dads out there, my dad, a happy Father's Day, and, you know, just want to wish him well today.
Well, I want to echo Hut's feeling or thoughts about Father's Day. And if my father's listening, Dad, will you send somebody to the Statesville Airport to pick me up tonight? Because I got to come home with Mike Walter.
I guess Dale's plane is leaving early because Dale Jarrett is already out of the event with engine problems. There's second to third place. Mark Martin on the left of your screen and Rusty Wallace on the right. And he's really getting around here, Buddy Baker. Rusty Wallace is.
As you can see across the tunnel turn there, he is really closing in on Mark. I think Mark is running a very conservative race right now. But, you know, Rusty Wallace, he never runs conservative. That's everything that car will do. He is not one to lay back.
Rusty's only 3 seconds behind the leader. He's cut off a half second in deficit over the last handful of laps. You know something? You talk about a deceptive season. Rusty Wallace is a classic example. He was up front at Atlanta, could have won. The motor blew. They led a lot of Bristol, then got caught by the rain. They were leading in North Wilkesboro with about a handful of laps to go. They had the accident in the back straightaway, and their day was done there. So in the box scores, it may not show all that well, but you got to go beyond the box score as Rusty now closes in on Mark Martin, who's just ahead of him.
If you ever watch this guy in the garage area, he works on the race car like he has a fever almost. I've never seen a guy that really puts his heart and soul in everything. He and Robin Pemberton do a great job of working on his car. Look at him go past Mark Martin there. Mark just moved over and said, go at it.
And Randy, he's won twice here also, and could have won another time when he had an oil line get cut when a tire went down. So not a surprise, is it?
No, it's definitely not a surprise. You know, Eli, earlier this morning, they may have avoided their disaster for today already. Their car was the last one out on the starting grid. It seems as though they found a problem with the motor this morning. They had a cracked block. They decided to change it to not get the car on the grid until 12:28. So maybe their bad luck is gone for the day. Glenn Jarrett?
22. Yeah, that's right, Glenn. 22 is Ward Burton, and he's got bad luck now that maybe Rusty has avoided, and caution is on the speedway. Ward Burton, who is running in 7th spot, has brought out the 3rd caution of the afternoon at lap number 94. Don't know if it's coming down in pipes.
Yeah, yesterday a few cars had valve problems where they dropped the valve. Because of the shifting that they do on this racetrack, a lot of times you run through the valve train.
Of course, if you don't shift, you've got your engine up to 9,000 RPMs or darn close to it. So either way, you could find yourself in a world of hurt. Caution, 3rd time today as Jeff Gordon continues to lead Pocono.
Clean is my business. So when I'm on the road, Super 8's my motel. Clean carpets, clean seats, clean. Clean inside and out. Life's great at Super 8.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
I know just about every garage in town. I guess I ought to know them all. More professionals use Napa parts than any other. That's because they can't afford to put in the same part twice. Just look at the signs. When did you see anything but we install Napa parts? Dan here liked us so much, he became a Napa Auto Care Center. Yep, everybody loves Napa. Of course, some say it's the hat. I think it's my good looks.
We keep America running.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by ProMotion Engine Treatment, is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Peerless Faucets. Get more out of your faucet than just water. Back with you here at Pocono International Raceway. From high above this triangular layout, the aerial camera pictures from the folks at Duralube. We appreciate having them on board. Pit stops now taking place. Randy Pemberton is down there in Jeff Gordon's pit.
No plastic on the grill. It must have come off before he got to pit road. Already around to the left side. This team is absolutely lightning for the DuPont crew. 4 tires, Derek Cope pits up the way, Rusty Wallace up in front of him, getting all the gas in for the 24 car down and away.
Well, a quick stop there. Everybody on the lead lap is in, and there's still a passel full of cars. 30 of the starters remain on the lead lap. Ward Burton's team pushing the MB&A Pontiac to the garage area, apparently cooking an engine in that smoking incident that we showed you earlier. So Ward goes to the garage, joining Bobby Labonte, Ernie Irvin, Brett Bodine, Dale Jarrett, Kenny Wallace, and Hut Strickland. So the attrition list begins to build now. 7 teams in the garage, but our first team is still hard at work here at Pocono.
It came from the hills and back roads, a sound of generations that found its way to this humble stage and to the ends of the earth. That stage has grown to become Opryland USA. And now with the Opryland USA passport, you can enjoy it all for just $99.95 per person plus tax. There's never been a better country music vacation value. So call now, 1-615-871-6169. Opryland USA, America's country vacation destination.
Hi, I'm Payne Stewart. Everybody knows that I love to play golf. When I'm at home, I love to work in my yard too. And after all, who spends more time working on grass than I do?
The Grass Terminator replacement head uses a new concept, multi-edged line for smoother, cleaner cutting. And the Grass Terminator's unique recessed head protects the trimmer line from breaking.
The Grass Terminator. With a backyard like this, I need all the help I can get.
Available at finer home improvement centers and retailers worldwide.
Monday on TNN, get your front row seat. Join host Ricky Skaggs, Patty Loveless, Jim Lauderdale, and Ralph Stanley. CNT presents Monday Night Concerts, 8 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Depot, 2212 First Street. Folks, look at this. 91 Seville, like brand spanking new, private new 100, 10.9. Lane.
Beautiful 2-year-old Camaro, best price in town, 10.9.
10.9 for a 2-year-old Camaro. Awesome. Matt, what do we got?
We got a 92 Pontiac Le Mans. Nice car. One owner. $5,900.
$5,900. That's incredible, folks. What do we got, Stan?
Tom, we got a 1991 Eagle Talon for only $6,800.
$6,800. Folks, Bradenton, Florida, Car Depot, #1.
Coming to TNN.
We are honky-tonkin' tonight.
Gather your friends for a honky-tonkin' good time. Join Aaron Tippin with Mickey Gilly, Mark Colley, Johnny Paycheck, Hank Thompson, and Junior Brown.
It's a party crowd.
It's a tribute to the honky-tonk and the music that brought it to life. You're honky-tonkin' at the Wild Horse Saloon with Aaron Tippin. Wednesday, July 10th at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Welcome back, everybody. We are 4 laps shy of halfway here at the UAW GM Teamwork 500. And you know, these home-built chassis working well today for Derek Cope, working well for Rusty Wallace. That's the subject of today's Innovation in Motion, brought to you by Peerless Faucet. Get more out of your faucet than just water. Hendrick Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing are known for building their cars from the ground up. And this week here in Pocono, Bobby Allison Racing and Penske Racing are debuting their first in-house built cars.
The car really isn't much different than anything that we run, you know, and the ground-up thing is just something we're just trying to control the quality of the cars. Not that we had quality problems before, but, you know, when you only build 1 or 2 new cars a year, when you're buying them, by the time you go a year down the road, a lot of things have changed. So, you know, this is just a better opportunity for us to keep a handle on it and, you know, really control our own destiny.
We believe in lightweight cars but still strong cars. So, and Steve moved around some points on the car, different geometry than what you can get there. You know, stuff you can do in-house now. You can move stuff without getting like factory cars from Hopkins or Laughlin.
We appreciate Robin Pemberton and Jimmy Fennig with the update. The leader is Mark Martin. Ward Burton's in the garage area. Randy?
Ward, tough break. What happened to the motor?
I think we burned a piston. It's a shame. I tell you, all the MBNA guys have done a good job this weekend and started to turn things around a little bit. We've been qualifying better, been racing a little bit better. And this car was fast in the leader when we fell out. You know, who knows what you've been in a race, but we know we had a good car, so we got a good car to come back here with.
Better luck next race.
Glenn Jarrett, Steve Meals had some interesting strategy today.
Boy, have they ever, Randy. We've gone almost 100 miles at Pocono. You guys haven't made a 4-tire change yet. I can't believe that.
Well, we talked earlier, we don't want to get stuck in traffic. That car is trimmed for a lot of front downforce, not a lot of rear downforce, and low drag, because the straightaways are so long here. When the racetrack gets slick, our front tires still work, where maybe the other guys don't. We're just intent on not getting them messed up with traffic, and if we can keep them out front or toward the front where the line's lined up, you know, rather than side-by-side racing 8th, 9th, and 10th, we'll be in good shape. But those other guys are behind us on 4 tires. They're going to beat us here for a little bit, but we're still going to stick to our plan.
How much difference is there in the lap time, Steve, between the 2 tires and 4 tires?
Now, this tire is just incredible. We came up here 2 weeks ago and tested. We'd run 55, 60 laps. The 60th lap would be as fast as the 5th lap. So Goodyear's done a great job with this tire. It'll run forever. Until it's worn out, it doesn't give up, and they're nowhere near worn out either. So we're real happy to just put 2 and 2.
Well, they changed the right sides that time. They're planning on, if they have to make another, well, on the next stop, be it green or yellow, it'll only be left side tires. I've seen them change it. Only right sides many times, but wow, I tell you, when they can get by with a no right side change on any stop, green or yellow, that is pretty impressive.
And they learned a lot. They tested here for a couple of days, a week and a half ago. So, you know, they know they're just not shooting in the dark here. They tested and knew what to expect. If you're keeping stats with us at home, of course, Jeff Gordon led laps 71 through 95. During the sequencing of pit stops, Ricky Craven led for 1 lap. He led lap 96. And then Mark Martin took over the lead at lap number 97, so Ricky Craven picks up 5 bonus points here today as well. Green flag from Doyle Ford. We're back at it. 1 lap shy of halfway. $10,000 from Gatorade, the front runner award on the line. Here this afternoon for the driver leading at halfway. Who's it going to be? Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Rusty, Derek Cope.
There goes Derek Cope.
Oh,
we have trouble
in turn number 1. Lake Speed in the wall with Ricky Craven. Lake Speed and Ricky Craven in the wall. They were running right now in 26th and 27th position near the end of the cars on the lead lap. So caution on the speedway as Lake Speed and the man who we told you had just led a lap, Ricky Craven, crash in turn number 1 on lap number 99. Boy, that's too bad. Ricky qualified 4th, had himself a good run, dropped back, came back, led a lap, and ends up in the wall with Lake. And there you see second place to the stripe. Jeff Gordon will hold off Rusty Wallace and Morgan Shepherd. Oh, man. Span in the wall.
Lake's got some pretty significant damage, but it looked like Ricky Craven got away fairly quickly, so he may not have a whole lot of damage. I see him well. I see him coming around turn 3 now with the car smoking, but we'll have to look at it. But Lake's got some pretty significant damage here. You can see him moving around in the car, though. He doesn't have the window net down yet, but you can see his head moving around.
Here's a look again at what happened. Up into the wall go Lake and then Ricky Craven spinning. Hard on the brakes on the low side of the track. You saw Johnny Benson, that yellow Pennzoil Pontiac. The smoke there was just from the brakes being stomped on. Randy, right side damage, if at all, it looks like.
Yeah, they have the right front tire down, and the Panhard bar may be bent as well, as what they were saying. They're going to go ahead and change the right side tires, try and pull the fenders out. They got 7 guys working over on the wall. Right sides are done. Going to go ahead and come around, change lefts, not to lose a lap if they can help it. And then they'll probably pull Ricky back in next time by.
So we are here at Pocono International Raceway. The crew checking, waiting to see if they can do the work on that machine. It's kind of a high-speed ballet for a NASCAR pit crew. We had a bit of a different dance here on the main straightaway earlier this morning as the David Blight School of Dance from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania demonstrated a number of country dances. The line dancers are on hand, entertaining the crowd here prior to today's race.
I'm the King Grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
Enter the Performance Zone with split-fire Performance V spark plugs.
You hit your passing gear, you're gone.
Experts say split-fire Performance V spark plugs mean more horsepower and better mileage.
The difference in gas mileage has been fantastic.
Enter the Performance Zone only with split-fire Performance Vs, guaranteed. And now you could win a limited edition 97 Mustang Cobra. Enter the split-fire Performance V sweepstakes.
You like the action? Do you crave excitement? Then listen up.
TNN Motorsports and Miller present the Win with the Driver Sweepstakes Year 2. We're bringing it back for repeat performance. Enter today and you can win a trip for 2 to one of these live Winston Cup races. You'll also get spending money, a complimentary team jacket, a tour of the Miller team's rig and pit, meet Rusty Wallace, and more.
Hey, Cole.
And if Rusty wins the race, you get $5,000. If he finishes, you pocket a cool grand.
You feeling lucky?
To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to this address.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your entries.
Get your entry in by August 16th, then watch race day on TNN August 25th to find out if you're going to the NBNA 500. Remember, if you don't win this time, your entry is eligible for the next drawing.
Enter now.
This sweepstakes is brought to you by Split Fire Spark Plugs and 104 Plus Octane Boost.
I'm the King Grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
While you're enjoying our telecast here on TNN this afternoon, you might want to fire up the laptop or your computer at home and sign on to that address you see on the screen. www.nascar.com. That is the home address for NASCAR Online. They are here feeding all sorts of information, the scoring updates as the race happens. It is, as we like to call it, your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. It is NASCAR Online at that address. Hope you can take advantage of it. Hard-working staff giving you some really fine information. Lake Speed's out of his car. Ricky Craven is in the garage area. That is Kenny Schrader, who is right now running in 13th position, but he's a multifaceted man. He is a part owner and a promoter of a racetrack, has a number of different drivers running for him. Kenny Schrader, more than just a single-car driver. It's been 5 years since last Ken Schrader went to victory lane in a Winston Cup car. But otherwise, Ken Schrader is a victory lane regular. From sprints to midgets, to stock cars and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, even down to promoting races themselves, Ken Schrader is what they call a racing lifer.
I like driving, for sure. But this year, with the Budweiser team and all the restructuring over there, I really need to be devoting a ton of time to that program.
Ken Schrader realizes that he is a true racing superstar, but at the same time, for proteges like Andy Hillenberg and others, Ken Schrader is a very approachable racing superstar, always willing to lend a helping hand.
You know, Kenny and I get along real great, and you know, if I have a question, I know that he has an answer. You know, he's been there, he's experienced some of the things that I'm experiencing now, being new to some of these racetracks and the Winston Cup cars and the Busch cars, and you know, Kenny's been all through that, so you know, I can go to him and he has a good answer to help me get up to that next step.
He has helped so many people, and I just, you know, right now is what my career needed, and hopefully I can make the most of it.
Kenny Schrader is really good about picking up drivers out of the ditch and who are unemployed and helping them along. You know, I don't think he's forgot where he started.
Timmy Cahoose basically is in charge of all the cars, and he gets them prepared, maintains them, makes the chassis adjustments that he thinks necessary from feedback from the drivers. I'm not going to drive forever, and I sure want to be involved and own a team. I don't think I want to own a Busch team. I mean, I want to own a Cup team when I do quit driving. So I would think so. I can't see a multi-team effort, but I'd sure like to have one car out there.
Kenny Schrader, very talented driver, promoter, has a little bit of everything going in the world of racing. Let's go through to the Splitfire mid-race report, brought to you by Splitfire. You can enter the performance zone with Splitfire Performance V spark plugs. There you see the numbers thus far, 7 lead changes, 7 different leaders rather, 15 lead changes. We're still working this 4th caution flag of the afternoon. Cars that are out of the race officially, Brett Bodine, Bobby Labonte, Ernie Irvin, Dale Jarrett. He had the engine failure earlier. Others are also in the garage area. Those are the fellas who have led the majority of the laps today. Other lap leaders this afternoon, Jeff Gordon, 37. Terry Labonte led 1 lap, as did Ricky Craven. We are working caution here at Pocono. 102 of 200 laps are complete. We're coming right back.
Goodyear AquaTread revolutionized wet traction design. Now Goodyear introduces the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season Infinitread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 Infinitread radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear Infinitreads. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
engineered cars you'll see are owned by the guys who know cars best. They're ASC certified master mechanics, and the #1 brand of motor oil these guys use in their own cars and trucks is Valvoline, makers of Durablend, the leading semi-synthetic for a cleaner engine due to better control of harmful deposits. So use the oil the mechanics who take care of your car use to take care of theirs. Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
My car broke down in who knows where, New York, and I had to get my son back to his mom. This nice lady stopped, drove us back to her Parts Plus store, got the tools and parts, even held the flashlight while I fixed it. Wouldn't take any money. If she treats everyone like that, she's going to be very, very successful.
Parts Plus. Not just parts. Parts Plus.
Think about it. We depend on our vehicles, yet most people know surprisingly little about car care. Well, get ready for Road Ready, the show that'll help you ensure your vehicle gets the kind of care and attention it needs. Join Mike Anson and Tricia Hessinger to see just how easy it is to tackle routine maintenance and small repairs. And be confident the job's done right. So get ready. Road Ready, tonight, 11:30 p.m., 10:30 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Highway transportation is provided by the Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago Motorhomes. Call 1-800-988-4884 and find out why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. Commercial transportation for this telecast has been provided by Ryder, the official transportation company for Opryland. Welcome back, everybody. TNN Motorsports is live here at Pocono International Raceway, watching Jeff Gordon pace around, currently behind Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon, one of a number of drivers who has suggested that all of the speedy dry on the track might need to be removed, and NASCAR was quick to concur. They put down a lot of speedy dry out there in turn number 1. They brought out the jet blower there to try and get all of the excess speedy dry. Of course, run over that, Buddy Baker. I guess your traction is gone.
As Phil can tell you, when you hit that speedy dry, sometimes it's worse than hitting the oil that is trying to dry up. So that's a good idea. You see it blowing all the excess off there. A little bit of the white line, too, it looked like. But that thing's nice to have there.
Good run from Morgan Shepherd today. He is in 4th, as you see, and new crew chief Jerry Kinnan. Same old car owner, Butch Mock. Let's hear from him.
Butch, you haven't had a lot to smile about this year. You started in another time zone today, but now you're 4th. You're having a heck of a day. What's the turnaround?
Well, the guys are doing a good job on the Remington Ford. You know, Jerry's coming here, and these guys are really pumped up. Morgan's driving a good race today, and, you know, I felt had a pretty good car sometimes all year, but things hadn't worked out for us. But these guys have knocked out some pit stops today. They've kept them right up there, and I'm real proud of these guys today.
Butch, this sport is as much psychological as anything, and I know a lot of people wouldn't believe that, but I think it's so.
Well, you know, I think the people in the sport know that. You know, all it takes is 2 or 3 good runs in a row, and you're right on a roll, and hopefully it's the beginning of a roll for us. And, you know, these guys are working real hard, and I'm real proud of them.
Need to finish today.
Yeah, we're trying.
Felt for you there last week, Phil Parsons. We were watching you in the Channel Lock car running there at South Boston, and man, I felt for you. It was one of those days, wasn't it?
I'm still dizzy over that day. You know? I spent more times backwards than I did forwards, it seems like.
Ready to go to Myrtle Beach come next week?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've got a real good car. We had a real good car at South Boston, but we, you know, got together with some people and spent more time backwards. But I think we'll be in good shape at Myrtle Beach.
Eli, he did the hat trick 3 times he went around.
Actually 4, but don't tell anybody.
That's coming up next week from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They'll be racing on 4 wheels. Earlier today, they were racing on 2 wheels here at Pocono International Raceway, and there they are drafting for the win at the finish line. They've got a big bicycle race coming up here in the Poconos on September the 8th. They're calling it the Pocono Criterium, and we had an advanced look today.
It's a simple concept. The bigger the hole, the easier air can flow through it. That's the idea behind Dynamax, the performance exhaust with the open airflow. Dynamax. Its patented open design maximizes your engine's full power potential, so you can really haul. Performance exhaust systems, engineered by Walker. Dynamax.
You look at a garage a lot differently when you see who it belongs to, especially Sears Garage, where right now new Bridgestone road handlers are all on sale. When you need a great deal on tires, take a look at our garage. Sears Auto Center.
I always use my favorite steak sauce. It's tradition. Every once in a while, I'm in the mood for something different. Something thick, robust, and hearty. Yeah, all right.
New A1 Thick and Hearty.
Welcome back, everybody. Part of our crew looking on here, busily at work. That's Debbie Bound, her dad, Herschel McGriff, legendary racer, with a happy Dad's Day greeting. We are live here at Pocono. The field's gotten the 1-to-go signal, and interestingly, remember, the leaders pitted at lap 95. Some of the teams just came in to top off the fuel tank, like Bobby Hamilton, Kyle Petty, Loy Allen was in, Randy McDonald. Glenn, some interesting strategy. Extra 10 laps. Who knows if it will play out later.
Absolutely, and you can see Richard Childress and crew chief David Smith for Dale Earnhardt talking about just that right now, wondering if they should have maybe come in. Let's ask David. You guys looking over pitch or fuel strategy, David?
Yeah, we're just making sure we're on the right page here on this fuel stop deal. The first one we ran, the second stop we ran out, so we weren't getting quite as good as gas mileage as what we figured it would be. So we're just going to make sure that we stretch it a little bit, the extra lap or two this time to put us in the right window for the last 2 stops.
So you make a couple adjustments on the car. Is it any better?
Yeah, we tightened it up a little bit. We went too tight, so now we backed off that a little bit. So I think we'll be back in good shape.
Well, as you can see, it's a never-ending battle.
It is. You got to be a scientist, an engineer, a little bit of everything wrapped up into one to make sure these teams get to where they want to, and that is victory lane. Mark Martin is the race leader. It's a good thing for him. He's not had a good run here in the last couple of weeks. He finished 40th there at Dover with the early problems. He lost 5 positions in the points. Remember, he dropped from 8th to 13th after the win, after the problem there. But think of this: of all the active drivers today, Mark Martin has the best average finish here at Pocono in 18 races. That's a bit over 10th spot overall. So he knows where he is right now up front as we get the restart. There goes Morgan cutting to the inside. Rusty cuts to the inside. Whoa. Hello. Mark Martin, we ride with him.
Look at this mess coming off the corner there.
Little give and take, though. A little give and take. And, Phil, that's what you were talking about earlier in the day.
You have to do it, Eli. We're just barely over halfway. So, these guys know that we've got another 90-some laps to go.
See Rusty Wallace moving into second there across the turn tunnel. That car is really working well. You see him turn in the corner there. Easy enough for me to say, Eli.
Yeah, well, nice to see you got those new teeth for Father's Day.
Yeah, thank you.
By the way, we have not yet given away the $10,000 from Gatorade because you don't give that money away at halfway if you're under caution. So you're looking now at 4 more laps to pick up the money for the halfway leader. Look at everybody back in the pack. Some of those guys on the lead lap, some aren't. All looking for running room. There's Steve Grissom all the way to the inside in the Cartoon Network car, number 29.
The majority of those cars are in the lead lap, but will we still have 28 cars in the lead lap?
Yeah, exactly. All the way back to Loy Allen. Last team on the lead lap, Randy McDonald and Steve Grissom. The first cars a lap down. Riding with Todd Bodine. Meanwhile, up front, Rusty Wallace in the 2. He'd love to grab that lead away from Jeff Gordon. Gordon led from lap 97 through lap 106. Or I should say Martin did, rather, with 97 through 106. And then Jeff Gordon took over the lead again at lap 107. Just joining us, Hut Strickland led first, then Derek Cope, then Ricky Rudd, then Mark Martin. Then Hutt again, then Rudd again, then Cope and Gordon, and Hutt and Gordon. Terry Labonte led for a lap. Ricky Craven led for a lap. Then Mark Martin, and now Jeff Gordon again. In the garage, Bobby Labonte, Ernie Irvin, Brett Bodine, Dale Jarrett, Kenny Wallace, Hut Strickland, Ward Burton, and Lake Speed. 33, Robert Presley, that's back at 8th spot now, around the lapped car of Randy McDonald.
I just wonder if Derek Cope's car may be off just a little bit because he was flying earlier. You see Kenny Schrader coming up behind him. Is he a little bit loose, or what do you think?
I'll tell you, he's got some damage on the front. It looks like he ran in the back of somebody. It looked like maybe on the restart or something, and that really hurts the front downforce. So I would guess that maybe he's having a pushing problem now because he doesn't have as much front downforce as he did before. He was behind the 33 car when he went high a bit ago.
You see your Napa Field standing update on the top of the screen. The folks at Napa Auto Parts, we keep America running, and they keep our rundowns running in your direction. Randy Pemberton, give us a little bit more info there on Derek Cope. He's tucked in behind Schrader. What's the big story?
Man, that is heavy damage. And I'll tell you what, he's not going to be able to go out there and run a full green flag stop like that. Although, wow, he still keeps the car on the bottom. It's handling well. What he's saying is he did get into the 33 on the restart. So that's the problem, but boy, they got some work to do on the next pit stop.
Let's see if we can get another look at it possibly here, buddy.
Eli, with problems on the nose like that, you need to stay right tucked up under somebody. Let's look at this as they go in the corner here.
We're looking for the 12 and the 33. You see what happened. Presley had to check up when Rudd went in front of him. And Derek, I guess, couldn't slow down in time, huh?
I'll tell you, you go down in that corner, Eli, as hard as you can go down in the corner. So if something happens in front of you, you can't slow down anymore because you're standing on the brakes with both hands.
And there's the battle for the lead right now, coming to the halfway money. They're coming to $10,000, and the crowd just standing and hooting and hollering. Rusty Wallace.
I think this is a situation that Jeff Gordon, if he can finish second on this lap, he's still going to get the money because Rusty Wallace is not eligible. Is that right?
Exactly right. You have to be doing 3 things to be eligible for the money. You've got to lead at halfway. You've got to have the Gatorade sticker on the car. You've got to have Gatorade identification in your pit area. And Rusty Wallace, though he will lead the race at the payout lap, the money will go to the teams behind him, in this case, Jeff Gordon, because Rusty Wallace was not participating in that Gatorade halfway program. Good scramble now for third. Here comes old Morgan Shepherd, and look at Jeff Bodine. We've not talked much about the QVC Ford today.
Great run for Jeff Bodine. I think this is probably his best race all year long, and you can see the car is really quick down the straightaway as Rudd makes a move on the inside.
Went right by Mark Martin there. And no question, this is the best run of the year for Jeff Bodine. What did he lead? 10 laps at Richmond, and that's been it. Dale Earnhardt right there in the mix now.
Ricky's caught on the outside there. You see Earnhardt on the inside, but the drafting went to the outside, and you can see Bodine went right in front of Ricky. He'd rather race with the Ford right now than he had Earnhardt, I would imagine.
Through turn number 1.
We'll have to see how long it takes Mark Martin's tires to equalize with the other competitors. You know, Steve Neal told us earlier, he said they're going to beat us a little bit on the start because we only changed 2 tires, but that should even out, and we'll see maybe another 5 or 10 laps if maybe Mark can start marching back towards the front.
There's the QVC Ford. Jeff Bodine in 4th. Ricky Rudd is in 5th. Jeff's got a visitor with him here this weekend. Brian Scheimer, who is the pilot or the driver of the bobsled for the USA bobsled team. He's down in the pit area for the QVC team here today. Rusty Wallace. His crew chief is Robin Pemberton.
Robin, there was some concern of whether you guys were going to get that Gatorade bonus or not, but NASCAR has said you do.
There's a little confusion on what lap you had to lead and all that, and we haven't got it in the past because we haven't had the right Gatorade stuff here, so it was good for us. That one was for Lori and Dave in the accounting office.
What about the guys in the 24 crew?
They just radioed in and said that was just enough money for Rusty's pool toys, I guess, so we've been scanning them right along. So a little fun back and forth.
What kind of pool toys does he have that cost that kind of money?
Apparently they're going to be pretty nice, I guess. So we'll have to see. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
Okay, thanks, Robin. These guys are loose. Rusty told me yesterday during happy hour that his car felt perfect, and is showing it right now.
So they are now changing things around. Let us correct ourselves. They obviously do have the, as you heard Robin say, the appropriate Gatorade signage in the pit area, and they are now part of that program. So the $10,000 Gatorade money does go to Rusty Wallace. First time they've been on the program, and as far as I can remember, since the program's inception.
Let me elaborate a little bit. Rusty Wallace is building about a $3 million home on Lake Norman right now, and when they say Boo Toys, they're talking Boo Toys, because this thing, the curtains in it, cost more than my house.
Well, God bless you. All of these guys, they can go out there. They're worth every penny they get in this business. You know,
bet.
You and I make a mistake up here. We say, oops, excuse me, he's got the Gatorade sticker. Those guys make a mistake, you know, it could hurt when you hit the wall. So Rusty Wallace shows the way. Jeff Gordon, Morgan Shepherd next in line. Great to see Morgan running well. Hasn't had a victory since Atlanta in March of 1993. Of course, Atlanta's always been Morgan's favorite racetrack. Derek Cope's coming down the pit lane now. Lap number 115. Jimmy Finnegan, the boys, I guess, are going to have to go to work on that front end of the automobile, indeed. Boy, that's too bad.
Looks like it's overheating, Eli. You know, he closed off the top opening of the grill, and it looked like they carried around a water hose out there to try to cool it off. They have a quick connect to the radiator that they can force water in it, but they're going to have a lot of trouble getting the hood open because there's so much damage.
They were on the pole until late in qualifying Friday when Jeff Gordon bumped them off, and now these problems after leading a number of laps earlier today. We're back up front with Rusty Wallace, the two-time winner here at Pocono. By the way, one of the best drivers in Pocono Raceway history. There's a guy sitting up here with us, Buddy Baker. We've not even talked about that. 8 top 5s here, including second places in 74, 76, again in 1980. You always got around well here.
I love this racetrack. I like any racetrack, but you have to be pretty precise as far as the way you get around the racetrack. And this place was really good. It was a super speedway that you could draft down the straightaway. You could position yourself and make, you know, a pass with driving ability, not just a lot of cars.
Buddy Baker, who's been here since this track, I guess, began hosting stock car races in 1971. USAC ran here in those days. NASCAR showed up in 74 with Richard Petty winning that event. Let's go back down to the Derek Cope pit. Randy, how significant is the fix going to be?
Well, it's going to take them a few minutes. What they're concerned about is, do they have a hole in the radiator at this particular time? Judy Finnegan's in there with a crowbar. Yeah, it has spit some water out the backflow, out the back of the car, and they're going to take a hard look at it. They'll button it down and go back out. They don't think they broke the engine, though.
Well, I guess that's good news in and around all of that cloud that's hung over that team here in the last little bit. That's the battle for the lead you're watching. Lap speeds 164.7 miles an hour.
Eli, these two have really got a good drafting package going right now. They're pulling away from third place.
Rusty Wallace, the leader, tested here for 3 days last week. He has 10 top 10 finishes here in 24 starts. This being his 25th. Who knows? Maybe he'll be in victory lane.
$285 horsepower. 2 airbags. And 2 easy open tops. The Pontiac Firebird T-Top and Firebird Convertible. Too cool.
If it's metal and it's outdoors, it needs rust protection. Enter Krylon Rust Tough. Spray or brush on a beautiful finish so tough it even protects against the destructive elements of nature. Well, most of them. Krylon Rust Tough protects tough.
Now at Pep Boys, get a $5 rebate on all Raybestos Pro Stop lifetime brakes. Car, truck, import, or domestic. That's $5 back on Raybestos lifetime brakes. You'll never have to buy brakes again. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
We're about to rock the roof off this honky-tonk tonight.
Marty Stewart, Shelby Lynn, Leroy Parnell, and Delbert McClinton. The Marty Party, June 25th on TNN.
The Shark Attack is back, and Monday night it's the USBL champion Florida Sharks versus the Tampa Windjammers at the Shark Tank in the Manatee Civic Center. Call for tickets now, 927-DUNK-DUNK.
July 18th on TNN. He pushed the entertainment world to the edge.
It's not necessary that they say you're the best singer they've ever heard. Make sure they had a good time.
If you're going to sing it, sing it. Give it.
He knew how to top charts and how to melt hearts.
I love Kenny's voice because I can feel it. It stirs me. I think it's sexy.
The Life and Times of Kenny Rogers. July 18th, 8 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
In the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, it is beautiful right now for Rusty Wallace in the #2 machine, leading Jeff Gordon in the 24. Remember, Rusty was leading here last July, folks. Remember that. And then he had to pit. Remember, 15 laps to go. He led 74 of the 200 laps that day and didn't come away with the W. But right now, things are going quite nicely. We've got Jeff Bodine behind them. He got around Morgan Shepherd moments ago. And there's 10th, 11th, and 12th. Michael Waltrip, Jimmy Spencer, Rick Mast's Pontiac. That's 10th, 11th, and 12th.
We've got to give a call to Michael Waltrip. We really haven't talked much about him, but he's been good. He's been around the top 10, and now he's solidly in the top 10.
And remember, he had his best career finish ever here. He came home second in 1988.
Well, you know, the Wood brothers have always had a good car here. David Pearson won several times for him. Neil Bonnet. This car runs well here.
Right, the Wood brothers have had poles here. A couple of race victories. We're at lap number 121 right now. The first two now, a second of an advantage on third place, while we watch Michael Waltrip in that battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th. Wallace and Gordon are a second ahead of Jeff Bodine at third spot.
It's kind of ironic, Eli. You know, we talked about at the top of the show that maybe this racetrack, maybe it was a clean slate, new surface, nobody had an advantage. But you look at the guys up front, all the guys that we thought may could break in and be up there. You know, Hutch Strickland, he had a transmission problem. We had Derek Cope, who had a problem running in the back of the 33 car, not of his making, and here we are with the same guys up front, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon.
Same group of suspects. Meanwhile, Bobby Allison is in the garage area with Randy as Derek Cope's car has been pushed behind the wall. Fellas?
Well, they continue to work on the car. We got Bobby. Bobby, just a tough break. You can't buy one, it seems as though, but you had a nice car out there today. He was doing a good job. Just looked like circumstance.
Well, the car was going really good. The guys have worked awful hard, and, you know, just one of those things. They had a scramble over there, and Derek lifted, and a lot of cars around him didn't, and it put us back in there, and I don't know what happened. It got the front end bent up, but shucks.
Must be pleased, though, to see that nice chassis work as well as it did today.
Yeah, I am real pleased. The effort the guys have put out has been really good, and I appreciate that. And we're going to get that old Badcock Thunderbird in that victory lane anyway.
Yeah, it's going to happen for you.
Bobby Allison, he got around this racetrack very well. Of course, had a very serious accident here, as many of you remember. Those of you who might be new to the sport are possibly not up on the history. One of the best men you're going to find in the garage, and I will dare say that is a NASCAR record, first time ever that the word shucks has been inserted forth in this garage area.
Sometimes it says it all, though. You could hear it in his voice. Yeah. Boy, what a disappointment that had to be, because they had one of the fastest cars all day.
Things tightening up now. Morgan Shepherd and Ricky Rudd. That's fourth place up for grabs.
Morgan's reporting a lot of push in the center part of the corner right now. We just got a report from the pits there. So if it's pushing, that's very aggravating here. What it tries to do is run into the wall coming out of the corner.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt. He's in 6th.
Jeff Ordine actually passed Morgan a bit ago, moved up to 3rd, and really drove away from that pack. And looks like he's catching Jeff Gordon, who's running 2nd.
Yeah, it was a second of a separation earlier, and we'll get the numbers as they come by us this time here at start-finish. From Rusty Wallace and Gordon back to Jeff, it's just 0.6 of a second now. So indeed, he is closing in that QVC Ford. There he is. You can see the separation yourselves. Boy, they need a finish.
Amen. But if you look at that car, the tires are right on the white line. Oh, no.
Robert Presley. He was running in 8th place. Robert Presley was in 8th place, returning full-time this weekend from those cracked ribs at Charlotte. They didn't even have Greg Sachs standing by as a sub, as has been the case the last few races. Or actually, Sachs drove the whole race at Dover, but boy, oh boy, 8th place up in smoke for Robert Presley. Meanwhile, up front, Rusty Wallace's lead is, as you see it, some 5 or 6 car lengths on Gordon, then 0.6 of a second back to Jeff. I'll have mine with mustard and sauerkraut, please.
Oh, I'm the kind of life for any job you do, any job that needs 3 hands, but you've got only 2, 'cause I'm the snake light from Black & Decker. I get around, I'm the snake light. I'm the king grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
Hold it, Harry. You know you can't use Duraloop fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use this product in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duraloop advantage.
Duraloop is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duraloop fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Enter the Performance Zone with Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs.
You get your passing gear, you're gone. The difference in gas mileage has been fantastic.
Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs mean better performance, more horsepower, and better mileage. So say the experts and the people who use them.
They're the best plugs I ever put in my car.
Enter the Performance Zone, only with Split-Fire Performance Vs, guaranteed.
To get the most out of this Indy car, Patrick Racing put Scott Pruitt behind the wheel. They built a team that could get it in and out of the pits in the blink of an eye. And they chose a battery they can depend on to get it started. The Duralast battery from AutoZone. The same Duralast you can depend on to start your car. So don't settle for anything less. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by ProMotion Engine Treatment, is brought to you by the more than 1,300 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Split-Fire. Enter the Performance Zone with Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs. 128 laps on the board. Rusty Wallace leads. Problems for Dale Earnhardt. Glenn, what's the story?
It looks like they've dropped the cylinder, Eli. The car is running awfully ragged right now. They're going to take a valve cover off. They suspect it probably broke a rocker arm, but Dale has shut the car off right now, but they've got a big problem. It's definitely not hitting on all 8 right now. He's going to be here a while.
Hello, point standing shift, huh?
Wow, I'm telling you, you never have anything wrapped up in racing. Anything can happen.
Oh boy, we're at lap 129. As we go back onto the track, we'll certainly keep you informed on Dale's situation. The last time Dale Earnhardt didn't finish a race was at Michigan last August. Remember we told you he had no top 5s here at Pocono last year, nor at Michigan. Didn't finish at Michigan last August. And this has been a streak of 7 consecutive top 5 finishes for Dale. That apparently, well, is clearly not going to happen today.
No, that thing, I'm going to tell you, it sounded like there's more than one cylinder down. It sounded like the valve had went through 3 or 4 cylinders.
It did sound kind of rough, didn't it?
Normally, if you just lose a cylinder, if you break a rocker arm, he'll try to limp around on 7 cylinders. So you knew when he hit pit road that he had some pretty significant damage to the engine.
That's first, second, and third on your screen.
Well, Bodine has moved right in on the back of Gordon there. He's having a great day today. The third car there in this shot is Bodine, and he is running a super race, getting off the corner very well as you see him going down a Long Pond straightaway, heading towards the tunnel turn.
You know, Jeff has led the most laps at Pocono all time. A lot of folks don't realize that. 786 laps Jeff Bodine has led in the 28 races here prior to today. A lot of folks might have picked Richard Petty or somebody.
So that's a lot of laps at Pocono.
It really is, around 2.5 miles. Let's go down to Randy for an update.
Well, we just got word. They're discussing it. Rusty Wallace and Robin Pemberton discussing when the pit, and they're going to come this time. Rusty peels off down pit road and be heading up towards Glenn Jarrett momentarily. They're looking for 4 tires. Jeff Gordon was talking to his crew saying, I can't run quite as quick as Rusty right now. I can run behind him because I can suck along in the draft, but Rusty is better than I am right now as he hits pit road and in his stall. Glenn?
All right, I'm here. And they go around to the right side. They've been changing 4 tires really every time, so they're around to the right side with tire change right now. They're waiting with the left side tires, so there'll definitely be 4 tires. Looks like a good stop. I didn't get a chance to get the stopwatch on it. Got here a little late, but boy, they're working fast, as this crew always does. And they're done. Left front is a little longer. 20.1 seconds. That's a great stop under green.
It is a good stop. Of course, it does hand the lead back to Jeff Gordon, as you see at the top of the screen. So Rusty will lead from lap 111 through 130. Jeff Gordon takes over the lead at lap 131, moving Jeff Bodine up into second, Ricky Rudd to third, Morgan Shepherd to fourth, and Mark Martin now in fifth. And look what's going on there with Rusty. He's not coming up to speed. Rusty Wallace is not coming up to speed.
I'm going to speculate that it might be the clutch.
Randy Pemberton?
It's either an axle or a clutch. It happens a lot at this racetrack. He dropped it because of the gear ratio, trying to come up to speed. He certainly did. He either burned the clutch out of it or broke the axle.
Boy, this racetrack, I can imagine, if you see smoke coming out of that car shortly, it'll be out of Rusty's ears. You can imagine what he's feeling like right now.
Eli, you could hear when they dropped the jack, the motor went way up in the air, so that's why I said it's probably a clutch.
My goodness. Pit stops now at lap 132. Jimmy Spencer is in. Kenny Schrader is in. Joe Nemechek is in for service. Here comes the leader, Jeff Gordon. He will hand the lead now to Jeff Bodine. So Bodine takes the lead right now, and that is the 19th Pocono race that Jeff Bodine has led. Let's go to Jeff Gordon's pit.
It's going to be a 4-tire stop. Jeff was complaining the car was a little tight. It's going to be 4 tires on the car. Clean the windshield good. It was a roundup wedge in the right rear for Gordon. Around to the left side already for the Rainbow Warriors. Car goes up. You know he'll be careful coming off of pit road. They probably already warned him about that. Down and away for Gordon. Good stop.
He does a super stop at 19.8 here at lap number 133. Now, Rusty Wallace, let's not forget him. He is coming off the track there onto a bit of an escape road, but now he's back on the track again. I wonder if he's going to be able to get around or if we're going to have a caution.
Eli, if he don't turn left right up here at this escape road, they're going to have to put the caution out. I don't think he has the speed. Oh, he's turning in, as we said.
That is very nice. It's a good sportsman-like move. Rusty knows that his afternoon is done, and he goes on to one of the escape roads. That's where the road course and the main oval intersect, for those of you who have not been here, and they do have an escape area there. So the leader is Jeff Bodine. On pit road right now, though, Mark Martin is in, Jeff Burton is in, Bobby Hillen, he stops. So does John Andretti, but Rusty Wallace's day is done.
From the beginning, Miller Genuine Draft is a beer unlike any other. Uniquely cold-filtered for maximum refreshment. Brewed with specially selected grains, the finest malted barley, and only the choicest hops the Northwest has to offer. Miller Genuine Draft. Always smooth, always refreshing, beginning to end. Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Stay cool.
When asked,
9 out of 10 people say they'd rather be on vacation than at home.
Come on.
Bored.
Do you have to
But I have to practice. Mom, she's a trained professional. Hey, do not throw the duck.
Of course, most of the people they asked didn't own a John Deere, because in survey after survey, folks are more satisfied with John Deere than other lawn tractors.
Honey, it's green.
It sure is. Nothing runs like a Deere.
As little as 1/1000th of an inch of motor oil separates your car's engine parts. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporized, weakening its ability to protect expensive parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 controls volatility, fights vaporization, and provides complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Get a Dream Team basketball with a 12-quart Haviland Formula 3 or 6-quart Haviland Synthetic purchase.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 Infinitread radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear Infinitreads. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
Watch TNN's Big Country, and you could be a big winner in the TNN Big Country Sweepstakes. Win a 1996 Dodge Caravan and an all-expense-paid trip to the Fruit of the Loom All-Star Country Fest 96 in Atlanta. Watch TNN weeknights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern for the Big Country Clue. Include the clue with your name, age, address, phone number on a postcard, and send it to It's a Big Country Sweepstakes, TNN Station, P.O. Box 3567, South Ferry, Connecticut. Win big in the TNN Big Country Sweepstakes.
Welcome back, everybody. From overhead with the Duralube aerial camera, we see them pushing the Miller machine back to the garage area. Rusty Wallace's day is done. Pit stops are continuing on the racetrack. Dick Trickle is in now. Jeff Bodine has been in. This is now the current leader. And let's take you back. Jeff Bodine led from lap 133 to 135. Morgan Shepherd led 136 as the 10th different leader. And now Bobby Hamilton, starting in lap 137, is our 11th different leader. But remember, Phil, he's on his own pit stop schedule because he came in to top off 10 laps after everybody else did.
He ought to be able to go to lap 145, maybe 146 or 7. So he can be right in there. If they can catch a caution right now, and he can come in under caution pit and be right back up with the leaders.
If you remember, folks, most all the leaders pitted at lap 95. Oh, here he's coming in, so he's not even going to stretch it. He came in, Hamilton did, at 105, so they had a 10-lap pad there, but Robbie Loomis and Richard Petty call him in now. He'll be pitting at lap number 138, so Bobby Hamilton is in the STP Pontiac. And that should mean on my pad that Kyle Petty would be next in line. He has not yet made his stop. But, Glenn, let's follow Richard Petty's team.
Well, Eli, this will be a two-tire stop. They're only going to change the right side tires and put fuel in it. They're gambling a little bit. They think that their car will work just as well on two. He's down and away in like 12 seconds. Great stop.
A superb stop. So Kyle Petty now will take over as the leader, as he has not made his pit stop. Behind Kyle, you would then cycle around to Jeff Bodine. So Kyle in the Coors Light Pontiac, the last team that has not yet made his stop. Dale Earnhardt, meanwhile, still smoking, but he's back on the racetrack. And if you're a Hut Strickland fan, he's back on the track, but he's running 29 laps down after his problems of early. We're at lap 138. There's Kyle Petty again on the right of your screen, the number 42, as the race leader.
You know, Kyle lost his grandmother this
right.
weekend. Kyle and Richard both went home. It was Kyle's mother, Linda's mother, and both Richard and Kyle went home. They were not here yesterday. They went home for the funeral. So our condolences to the Petty family and the Owens family.
Certainly, Helen Case Owens passed away on Thursday at the age of 79, and everybody here in the garage extending their condolences to the family.
Indeed. Look at the 12 car back out there. The Badcock car of Derek Cope has made its way back on the racetrack again.
And here comes Kyle after leading only the second race this year. He led at Martinsville for some 67 laps until he had problems with the brakes. And now Billy Woodruff and the fellas will be servicing the machine at lap number 139. So Kyle Petty is in at lap 139, and that will circle ourselves back around on the leaderboard to Jeff Bodine, then Jeff Gordon, followed by Rudd, Martin, Labonte, and all the rest. Good quick stop for Kyle's bunch.
Yeah, he took on 2 tires in about 13.5 seconds. So we're back to the leader now, Jeff Bodine. After the cycle of pit stops, Jeff emerged as the leader once again.
A 2-tire change, though, for Bodine, and we do know that the 24 car of Jeff Gordon took on 4, so we'll see what the advantage is of new tires over 2-tire change.
I can tell you on the stopwatch, Gordon is 0.3 of a second per lap faster right now. Jeff Bodine on lap 137 was up by 1.6. Now it's to 1.3. So that's a fairly significant difference, obviously, but you got to roll the dice and play him.
So Jeff Gordon is not that far behind. There you can see him right there at the top of the screen. He's not that far behind Jeff Bodine, and he's got the advantage of having 4 new tires.
Just 1.1 seconds now, the differential from first to second. Good to see Jeff Bodine leading, though. That team has needed a shot in the arm.
Well, you know, the quality of the driver is good. The race team is good. They just had a bad season, and that happens to most every race team. A couple of years back, Earnhardt had the same type of year. It just looked like nothing would work for him.
Dale Earnhardt's back on pit road now. Lap 141. We showed you his stop earlier, and now he is back in again. And the fans' reaction you can hear clearly. He is back in 28th position, Earnhardt is, already 6 laps down, and the fellas are going to go to work again. He came down the pit lane too quickly. You can see a NASCAR official already in front of the car. When all of the work is done, they will hold him for the 15-second penalty for excessive speed on the pit lane. Meanwhile, back up front, Jeff Bodine, the leader. Jeff Gordon trying to close in, but for the moment, he is staying just about a second and a tenth behind the leader as we work lap 142 of 200.
Hey, is that what I think it is?
Yeah, it's my new Wagner Power Painter.
Well, can you edge with it?
Yeah, you can edge like this, or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm gonna switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do.
Well, does it clean up easy?
Yeah, it's quicker than you think.
Why am I painting this by hand?
Good question. Get a Wagner.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART about Smart Lease by GMAC. It's an affordable way to drive off with a new GM vehicle. And it might even give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
I know just about every garage in town. I guess I ought to know them all. More professionals use Napa parts than any other. It's because they can't afford to put in the same part twice. Just look at the signs. When did you see anything but we install Napa parts? Dan here liked us so much he became a Napa Auto Care Center. Yep, everybody loves Napa. Of course, some say it's the hat. I think it's my good looks.
We keep America running.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by ProMotion Engine Treatment, is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. And by Peerless Faucets. Get more out of your faucet than just water. Welcome back. You're just in time for a battle for the lead here at Pocono International Raceway as Jeff Gordon has caught Jeff Bodine. Lap 145 on the board right now. Working towards 200. That makes up the 500-mile distance today.
See Jeff looking on the inside with just 2 tire change there. If you see the 7 car starting to work out now, Gordon's looking to the outside trying to pass as they come off the corner. Bodine shuts the door.
How much, Phil, is Jeff looking forward, Jeff Bodine, and how much now is he looking in the rearview mirror?
He's looking forward about 10% of the time and looking behind him about 90% of the time. And I'm not really exaggerating that much. He's keeping his eye exactly on where Jeff Gordon is.
Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace in the garage area after his problems of earlier. Randy?
Crew working on the car. Rusty's sitting over here. Rusty, it's either feast or famine with you. Too much famine.
There is way too much famine lately. I tell you, this we had a great race going on. The car just literally hauled the mail today. It was running great, handling great. It's a brand new car we call the PC1 that the guys back at the shop built, and I'm real proud of it because the car was just lightning fast today. But, you know, we pull a really super high first gear to try to get out of the pits. I mean, to try to use it for restarts. And when you got to get out of the pits, too, sometimes it's just too high first gear is. And, you know, we've been running the same transmission for about 3 or 4 years, the same ratios. And I knew it was going to bite us one of these days because it was just too high, and it finally happened. So we're out of the race, but the motor was strong. We had to change the engine this morning. We blew a motor after qualifying. We had to change the engine, find a cracked block this morning. Put this backup engine in, didn't really thundered. It run perfect. I guess the good thing is knowing that you're going to go to Michigan and go to Indianapolis with a good, strong engine, and that makes me feel good, and a new hot rod car. So I'll take this car and this engine combination, the MIS, and it should run good.
Rusty Wallace, disappointing day for them.
Of course, the car PC1, that is Penske Chassis 1. This is that brand new home-built chassis that we've talked about earlier, hence the numbering system as opposed to the PRs that they used to call them for Penske Racing. PC is the new designation for the Penske chassis.
You know, you're watching Bodine there, taking every advantage he can, getting in the corner. Like you say, Phil, he's looking in the mirror, but right now, every lap he can keep Jeff Gordon behind him, the more equal the tires will become because Jeff Gordon is now wearing the new out of this tire. So he's really doing a great job of holding Jeff Gordon off.
We saw Jeff Gordon catch Jeff Bodine. He was about a second and a half behind. We saw him catch him in a matter of 3 or 4 laps. But now once he's caught him, getting by him's not quite as easy as as you would think.
Randy could add to that same line of thinking. Randy?
Well, even though these tires are good, you can go out there and run on 2 tires after a pit stop. Ray Evernham was telling Jeff, just wait for a while, wait for his tires to start going away on him, and just sit there and ride. And as soon as you think they're starting to go, then go ahead and take them.
You know, one of the interesting things today, Randy and fellas, 12 different leaders today, but only 4 of those 12 are guys who are in the top 10 in NASCAR Winston Cup points. And you got names like Hut Strickland, who led, Derek Pope, who led earlier today. Ricky Craven, of course, he was in the top 10 before the month of May and has backslid. Morgan Shepherd, Bobby Hamilton, Kyle Petty, and so on. So a lot of the leaders today are names that have not led. Jeff Bodine hasn't led but 2 races all season. Jeff Bodine shows the way. Jeff Gordon second. Dale Earnhardt fans, you can put your pencils away for the day. They are taking that car to the garage. He will complete 135 laps. And right now, that will mean he'll finish no better than 29th, depending if Rusty Wallace can come back. You've also got Hut Strickland out there. It could bypass him, but no better than 29th for Dale Earnhardt as the battle for the lead heats up again. Either the tires are going away for Bodine or Jeff says to Ray Evernham, I'm going anyway.
That's right, Eli. I just figured it out. Right now, Jeff Bodine has about 140 miles on his left side tires. So, and Jeff Gordon has about 30 or something like that. So it's just a matter of Jeff Gordon was patient. He ran him down. He waited till Jeff slipped a little bit and just drove by him.
So Gordon will take the lead at lap 150. We're just 50 laps away from the finish. And you know something, folks, at the same time, they have built up 9.5 seconds on 3rd place. If you're wondering why we haven't shown you anybody else nearby, 3rd place, Ricky Rudd, is darn close to 10 seconds back. He is in a 2-car drafting battle with Mark Martin. But these front 2 have really pulled off and gotten gone now.
Well, we're going to have to see whether Bodine can actually draft behind Gordon and keep up with him. It looks like he's holding his own right at the moment.
50 laps to go. 3/4 of the way into the UAW GM Teamwork 500 here at Pocono. Don't forget Myrtle Beach Speedway in South Carolina next week here on TNN Motorsports. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt done for the day. Randy?
Well, Dale has just climbed from the car. He's talking to his guys. Bobby Hutchin, David Smith, and the guys continue to work on the car. We'll try and wheel over here and get a word with him, but he's trying to find out if, in fact, they can get this car back out here. Bobby currently discussing it with him. We'll come back in a second.
We will do that. Bobby Hutchins there with the beard left of your screen. Co-crew chief with David Smith on that team. And sometimes you need to know when to approach and when not to. And that was a smart move. A little extra breathing time there, Randy.
Well, you got to give it to him, and it's courtesy to talk to us anyway. Dale, 7 straight top 5s, not today. What happened?
Broke a valve, I think. It's not on the top end. The valve springs and all are okay, and I think he just dropped the valve down on the piston and messed it up. And as long as it was riding, it would go, but NASCAR said we had to pick it up, and I couldn't pick it up. It was running too bad, so we came down pit road to see if we could do anything to it, and it locked up. So I feel like it dropped on down there and locked the piston up. So I doubt there's anything we can do. Pull some heads off and look at it, but I doubt they can fix it.
Look forward to Michigan Forest.
Hopefully. I'm going to test Indy tomorrow. Get ready for there.
Okay, defending champ of Indy.
Yeah, a number of teams heading to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's 5th and 6th place right now. Morgan Shepherd ahead of Terry Labonte.
It sounds like you missed a gear there, Alfie.
That sounds like puberty is kicking in, isn't it? It is a scary feeling, I promise you that. Here's Terry Labonte now trying to battle Morgan Shepherd for 5th.
Well, you could see that Morgan is pushing there. What happened there? He pushed out, and Terry Labonte just drove right up under him coming off the corner.
I went into overdrive is what it was. That's what it was. 48 laps to go. Jeff Gordon and Jeff Bodine are 1st and 2nd with a big lead on the rest of the field. Stay with us. We're back to Pocono in just a moment.
Che bella cosa la dolce vita, volare la noche caliente en su esplendor suave.
God bless America. 100% cotton, cut for comfort, fruit of the loom. Really, really comfortable underwear.
Boys have made the short track confines of Myrtle Beach. It's a test of survival. With tricky turns and heavy traffic, this tight little oval puts the squeeze on race teams. Last year, Larry Pearson's Stanley Tool Chevy had the hardware to take the victory. Who's got the right stuff this year? From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it's the Busch Grand National Carolina Pride Advance Auto Parts 250. Saturday, 5 p.m., 4 Central on TNN Motorsports. James Taylor on the next The Road, TNN Wednesday.
My family depends on me, and when it comes to keeping the van up and running, I depend on Bill Graham Ford. They understand that my time is valuable, so they don't keep me waiting. When I schedule a service appointment with Bill Graham Ford, I know that I'll be taken care of promptly, and that my van will be ready when they say, with no unexpected surprises. My family trusts that I'll be there for them, and I trust Bill Graham Ford.
Bill Graham Ford. Great deals, great service, and great people.
With your stay, you could board a morning or midday cruise on the mighty General Jackson Showboat. Take in a day at Opryland Theme Park and a concert at Nashville on Stage. Travel by river taxi to the Wild Horse Saloon. See a performance of the world-famous Grand Ole Opry and more. Starting at $99 a person, June 30th through July 26th. Call 615-872-0600 and join us as we celebrate the Delta at Opryland, USA.
Hope you can join us next Saturday. Normally we're on, as you see, at 6, but Race Talk will be at 7 o'clock next Saturday. Johnny Benson will be our guest. We'll be on following the NASCAR Busch Series race at Myrtle Beach. That is Race Talk next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on TNN Motorsports. We've not talked much about Jeremy Mayfield and Todd Bodine, and they've got a good battle going right now. There you see the separation between those two in 11th and 12th. And right behind them, there on the right of the screen, good run for Bobby Hillen from Midland, Texas. He's on the lead lap in 13th spot in the Jasper Racing team entry here today. Been a good scramble.
It has. I'll tell you, all three of those cars have run a steady race. You know, we've run a lot of green flag racing, and they've stayed right in contention. So they're having a good day, and we haven't talked much about them, but they sure are deserving.
They really are deserving. Jeremy Mayfield's first and only top 10 finish last year was 8th here at Pocono. Of course, this year he's already finished 4th at Martinsville, 5th at Atlanta. So, again, another classic example of take a guy from Goodlettsville, Tennessee, give him track time. If he's any good, he's going to learn, and he is.
He has really done a good job this year. You know, early in the year, you know, he had those runs, as you mentioned, at Martinsville and Atlanta. And they hit a bit of a slump here lately, but he's having a good effort today.
And Bobby Hillen, got a good look at him as we ride with Todd Bodine. Subbing for Bill Elliott. Bill was with us on the telecast earlier. If you missed it, he joined us on the phone from Blairsville, Georgia. Look forward to seeing Bill at the racetrack soon. Rehab's coming along, but well, you could tell in his voice he wanted to be here.
Yeah, you could tell he was ready to get back in this 94 and get after it there. And you can just you can tell how good somebody feels by the way. Watch him shift here down the front straightaway. Boy, oh boy.
We've talked about that today. We've talked about the people shifting. Let's see if we can stay on it now and watch him downshift. See if he downshifts going in the corner or about the time he gets back in the throttle. There he goes. Right about the time he gets back in the throttle, he grabs third gear. Now, he'll probably run third gear all the way back around until he gets to the start-finish line.
You can see he rolled off into the corner. In the center part of the corner where the car settles down is where he made his shift. You don't want to shift going into the corner because that gets your rear wheels to hopping sometimes.
At that point, I've got both my feet and hands and everything else on the brakes trying to get stopped. I don't have an extra hand.
I was going to say, I followed you into that corner before, and you're right.
I'll tell you, in tight traffic, that can get awfully busy. Let's see what he does. He's in turn 3 now. This is that flat corner.
Still up in third gear. You see the shift knob, the white shift knob there. That's the thing that Hud Strickland had lost early in the race. He grabs fourth gear right at the start-finish line and then on down towards turn 1.
That is a ride around the 2.5-mile Pocono International Raceway with Todd Bodine. We're back here in 5 weeks again. The NASCAR Winston Cup Series is. I had a quick look. Joe Mattioli was showing me a great-looking commemorative ticket that they've got with Richard Petty on it for the next return here. Their pole day ticket is going to be honoring Richard Petty and STP and all of their 25 years together. Great look. It's nice to see the Mattiolis. They're good folks here, and they really take to the drivers, and in particular, the fellas who've been around a while. Bobby Allison is a favorite, and Richard now being honored with this commemorative ticket that they'll have for pole day here in July. It's nice to see.
It's good to see, and it's also good to see this great surface here because Richard Petty used to knock all our windshields out. He never used the pavement getting into turn 3 over there. And, boy, I mean, he knocked them. He just drove very hard, but he kept the left front in the dirt, and he'd throw rocks right back on you.
That's 11th place we're looking at now. Todd Bodine makes the move around Jeremy Mayfield. So Todd's in 11th. Used the wide side of the track. Jeremy now in 12th, and here comes Darrell Waltrip. Little smoke from behind the Parts America Chevrolet. We've not talked much about DW. He's in 21st right now, still on the lead lap.
Up in turn 3, you can see a big plume of smoke there going under the hood. Look at the smoke coming out now.
Oh, now you see it. And looks like they're cutting off the engine, Randy, huh?
Yeah, you guys got it. He blew it up. That's all for Darrell today, I think.
Boy, Darrell Waltrip's had himself a handful, and he was excited about this weekend. He likes Pocono. He's run well here, but he was back, as we say, in 21st position, though on the lead lap, but apparently his day is done.
Eli, we had a report that he dropped the valve. That's very common today with the shifting and all that you have to do here.
It's incredible the abuse an engine takes at a racetrack like Pocono with the shifting. You turn about 86, 8,800 RPMs on each of the 3 straightaways, and it's just incredible that these engines that all of them don't blow up.
That's 8th place on your screen now. Jimmy Spencer and Jeff Burton. Jimmy, the pride of Berwick, Pennsylvania, right up there along with the Berwick Bulldogs football team, that great high school team that is seemingly perennially #1 in America.
Well, they're good. That right side of that windshield pretty bad.
It is, but right now we continue. Green flag racing, just 39 laps to go. We're nearing the finish as Jeff Gordon still leads.
I'm the King Grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
What makes the Chevy Monte Carlo so great? Aerodynamic balance and rear downforce.
4-stroke, great horsepower.
Absolutely minimal drag coefficient.
Really nice map light.
Monte Carlo has won more races than any other car in NASCAR Winston Cup history. Genuine Chevrolet, the car's more champions trust, for all kinds of reasons.
What makes the Monte Carlo so good? Me.
Some of the most admired cars you'll see are owned by the guys who know cars best. They're ASC certified master mechanics, and the #1 brand of motor oil these guys use in their own cars and trucks is Valvoline, makers of Durablend, the leading semi-synthetic for a cleaner engine due to better control of harmful deposits. So use the oil the mechanics who take care of your car use to take care of theirs. Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
I'm the King Grill.
Oh, yeah?
Baby, you know who's boss. Give me a 2-inch thick T-bone with spicy, hanging, Heinz 57 steak sauce.
Yeah, you're cooking now.
Let's eat.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by Promotion Engine Treatment, is brought to you by tangy Heinz 57 steak sauce. Let's eat. The folks at Duralube with that beautiful look at how this Pocono Raceway just sits among the plush greenery of the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Really is a great setting here. Jeff Gordon has led 57 laps today. That is the most of anyone this afternoon. And remember, if you're just joining us, Dale Earnhardt has dropped out already with engine failure. If the race ended right now, that's how the points would look. And obviously, we've still got 34 or so laps to go. But if the race ended at this very moment, that would be the spread. So the big lead for Dale Earnhardt would dwindle to just 49 over Terry Labonte. Now let's talk pit strategy, guys. Randy, you're patrolling the pit lane with Glenn. What's Jeff Gordon talking about versus Jeff Bodine versus Ricky Rudd? Because they've got to make another stop.
It's pretty interesting, no question about it. One stop to go. For a while there, Jeff Gordon was talking about taking only 2 tires because they've seen what Jeff Bodine has been able to do with him with having only 2 tires out. So they may take 2 because he's not able to shake Jeff. Now, Jeff said, we may also take on 2 tires. If we do, though, you're going to have to tighten the car up. Bill Parsons was talking during break. They possibly may go ahead and take left side tires on the 7 car, and that's a possibility. Glenn, what are they doing up there with the 10 and the 6?
Well, Randy, right now, they're scheduled for Mark Martin to pit. In fact, I think he's coming in the pits right now. They're just going to change the left side tires. Looks like they're going to make a track bar adjustment, too. Richard Broom and the guys up here at 10 are getting ready to in fact, they're discussing it right now. They're airing up some left side tires. Let's ask him, Richard, a little strategy. You going to change 4 or 2?
Well, I'm not sure right now. In other words, I'm trying to talk Ricky into 2, but he ain't going for it.
Well, I'll let that discussion continue and mosey back down here to Mark Martin.
And remember, on the 1st and the 15th of the month, that is Ricky Rudd's name on the bottom of Richard Broom's paycheck. So who knows? You know, last year when we came to Pocono, Jeff Gordon was second in points. He's second in points, or at least third in points, I should say. Same spot he is right now. How do you approach the rest of the season, Jeff Gordon?
Things really went well for us last year, and especially starting right about this time is when things really picked up for us. So, I don't know. I mean, not every year can be the same. I think if we're going to win the championship, it might be done a little bit different fashion this year. We are a little bit further behind, and the way I look at it is the 2 or 3 major problems that we've had to be where we are in the points is still a pretty good season, and that shows the potential that we still have the rest of the season.
So 3rd in points, but again, remember, things are tightening up here today as Jeff Burton makes a stop. Derek Cope has been in. Rick Mast has pitted here at lap 166. Hut Strickland has been in. Here comes Joe Nemechek. He'll pit at lap number 167. All of these are scheduled.
Mark Martin was also in the pits the same time as Jeff Burton. It looked like from here, it looked like he just changed right side tires.
Here come Ted Musgrave and Jimmy Spencer. That 2nd place man, Jeff Bodine. He's waiting. There's Spencer, Travis Carter, Cecil Gordon, the whole crew going to work on the Smokin' Joe's entry.
Spencer's had a good race. He was up in the top 10. Where was he when he came in the pits there? He was in 7th position. Yeah, he's had a good race today.
167 laps on the board now. No pitting this time for Jeff Gordon, but Jeff Bodine is coming in. The QVC Ford. Here he comes. Paul Andrews and the crew waiting at lap number 168. Randy's right there watching.
Well, Jeff Bodine just radioed in, said fuel pressure going up and down. They said bring that baby down pit road now. Right side tires so far for the QVC Ford. Are they going to go around to the left? That is the big question. Don't see anybody loosening left side lugs. Right side tires going on. Fuel, 2nd can in. Yes, there goes the left side tires. Loosening the lug nuts, so it is going to be a 4-tire stop. That leaves the strategy now to Jeff Gordon. Will he take on 2? He already had a pretty big lead. He can increase that lead. Not the quickest stop in the world for the QVC team. He's down and away. Yeah. 27-2. Tough break on pit road.
Not a good stop right there.
See, with that slow pit stop, now Jeff Gordon, he can come in, he can have his normal 4-tire change in about 20 seconds, and he'll be about 1/3 of the straightaway ahead of Jeff Bodine when he comes back on the racetrack.
Gordon, you see him crossing start-finish, coming right at you in your living room. Ricky Rudd is now in 2nd spot. Of course, he's half the length of the straightaway down to the race leader. We're talking in and around 9 and 10 seconds of a deficit. Ted Musgrave, who is right behind Gordon, has already made his pit stop. We're at lap 169, 31 laps from the finish. There you see the exact spread, and he's waving. You might have seen his hands going back and forth. He was waving to Ted Musgrave, who is behind him, that he's going to be slowing down to come in. At lap 169, on the pit lane, you've got Wally Dallenbach, you've got John Andretti, and here comes Jeff Gordon now. The DuPont team waiting. The Rainbow Warriors approaching the pit wall. Let's go to the stop.
29 laps to go. Phil Parsons, you were exactly right. He let Jeff Bodine go ahead and dictate what he was able to do. If Jeff had come in and taken on 2, he would have had a nice opportunity to force this team to possibly take on 2. Now they can make not necessarily a leisurely 4-tire stop because they don't know what that means, but it's going to be a quick 4-tire stop. He's going to be down and away in a matter of seconds. Just a half a can and a 2nd can of gas. 19-1. Good stop.
Ricky Rudd has brought the Tide Ford in, and evidently Richard Bloom was a pretty good salesman because he talked Ricky in to just right side tires. They got the fuel in it. Something's wrong. They held him up for something. Wow. Still a good stop, 13.7, but they held the car up on the jack for at least a 1.5 seconds longer than they really needed to. But he definitely gained some on Gordon. That's about a 6-second gain, so a lot of time on the racetrack.
Of course, Gordon gained 8 seconds on Jeff Bodine. And there you see Morgan Shepherd. He is due to make a stop, but here he comes now. So Morgan Shepherd coming down to the attention of Jerry Kinnan and the rest of that Butch Mock team. Final 30 laps are in store for you here on TNN.
Race fans, enter the Pocono Raceway Promotion Engine Treatment Fantasy Sweepstakes and have a chance to win trips for 2 to the July 21st Miller 500 at Pocono, the August 3rd Brickyard 400, and the 1997 Daytona 500, plus $5,000 in cash. To enter the sweepstakes and receive free Promotion Engine Treatment literature, call toll-free 1-800-800-0987 or send your name, address, and phone number on a 3x5 piece of paper to this address. For a complete set of rules and a free Pocono Raceway ticket brochure, call 1-800-RACEWAY.
If you
think you might need some new hand tools, think about this. Every single one of Sears' 1,600 Craftsman hand tools is built so incredibly tough. We guarantee them forever. And we mean forever. Craftsman hand tools, only at Sears.
At Citgo, when you team up our super premium gasoline with our Super Guard motor oil, you'll get all the high performance and reliability you demand. So, prepare yourself to be totally blown away. Super premium performance. Citgo says go.
Now at Pep Boys, get a $5 rebate on all Raybestos Pro Stop lifetime brakes. Car, truck, import, or domestic. That's $5 back on Raybestos lifetime brakes. You'll never have to buy brakes again. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
I've seen every card there is. Thousands of cards. Super 8's VIP card. It says, congratulations, your reservation is guaranteed, and you get 10% off. Life's great at Super 8.
The American Speed Association. It's a different breed of racing. Total determination unleashed on cutting-edge racing vehicles. It takes metal, nerve, with no room for let-up. It's a convergence of contenders, all vying for just one thing, to win. The ASA AZ Delco Challenge Series Kansas City Pontiac Dealers Pontiac Excitement 300, Saturday, June 29th at 9 p.m., 8 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Hope you can join Rick Benjamin tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, the PM edition of Race Day. I'll catch you up on doings here, some action across the pond, and 24-hour variety, all sorts of doings. Race Day, 10 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, right here on TNN Motorsports. 27 laps to go. Jeff Gordon shows the way. Here he comes now out of turn 3. We'll get some of the intervals for you now. We'll get the stopwatches going. Here comes Gordon. The man in second is Kyle Petty. He is now peeling off to make his pit stop. So Mark Martin takes over second, 4 7/10 seconds behind.
That two-tire change on Mark Martin's car enabled him to get ahead of Ricky Rudd and Jeff Bodine to get up in second position.
Well, the fans out there that pull for Rick Mast, he just come by and the motors sound terrible, so it sounds that he's out.
Glenn?
Eli, we were clocking it just a lap before that while we were in break, and we had Gordon with a 5.25-second lead. So Mark Martin cut it down some that time. Mark only took on 2 tires on his stop a while ago. I had reported left side tires, but it was right side tires. So he looks to be closing the gap right now. I don't know if Gordon's, soft shoeing it right now a little bit because of the lead. But then also, I said there was a problem with the 10 car. The jack man was told to drop the car. He was looking at the gas man. They were waiting for the gas man to pull away to finish gassing the car. They didn't need all the fuel. That's the reason they held the car up for about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds longer when they really needed to.
And you just saw Jeff Gordon go by Rick Mast, as Buddy was telling me before. Literally, the glass in our broadcast booth reverberated with that guttural moan of an engine that's not hitting on all cylinders. Tough day for Rick Mast after a fine run earlier in the afternoon. At this moment, 9 teams on the lead lap. Everything now cycling back around. Wally Dallenbach, John Andretti, Kyle Petty now making his stop of a moment ago. So that'll bring a grand total of 16 teams back on the lead lap right now. Mark Martin on the racetrack. He is now in second. There's Ricky Rudd.
That's the difference between Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd is what Glenn was talking about. That jackman that held the car for 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. That's the difference right now between second and third position.
Randy McDonald makes his scheduled pit stop now at lap 176.
You know, it looked to me like, Eli, I just caught a glimpse of it. That was Ricky Rudd's in-car camera. It looked like he shifted going down in the corner to help slow the car down. And that's, I tell you, you're pretty busy right there. So, but he's a good road racer. You know, and Buddy and I we were talking during the break, and a good road racer typically runs well here at Pocono. And Ricky Rudd's certainly a good road racer.
Definitely so. Let's check in with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Phil, to echo what you're saying there, Mark Martin told me the very same thing. You know, it's not too surprising. The road racers shift going down into the corner. The other guys wait until they pick the throttle up coming off or in the middle of 1 and 2 down there. But Mark Martin told me exactly the same thing, and I think if you took a poll, those would be 2 of the top 4 road racers on the circuit.
That means you have to have great brakes to do that, because the clutch has to go in, or when you're shifting, there's a moment there that the car is just free-flowing into the corner. If you miss a gear there, you're in big trouble.
I'll tell you, with these Jericho transmissions, though, buddy, as you drove them, just before you quit driving competitively, you don't. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to shift, because you shift without a clutch, or a lot of people do, and you think just goes snap and goes from 4th to 3rd gear. But you're still pretty busy getting down in 1. But Ricky Rudd and Mark Martin are 2, as Glenn said, 2 of the better road racers on the circuit, and they certainly get it done.
That's not a ride in the park there, Eli. You could see that Ricky Rudd was really giving that steering wheel a good work over there, getting in and out of the corner there.
Plus, he's got Jeff Bodine closing in on him right behind Rudd. You've got the lap car of Joe Nemechek, but there come the QBC colors for Jeff Bodine. He's in 4th, so Ricky's got to protect his position as well. We are 22 laps from the end as we look at Doyle Ford, chief starter for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series.
If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it.
If I wasn't here, I wouldn't have believed it.
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
These people just witnessed an amazing demonstration. We put this Duraloop treated engine through the ultimate torture test. We drained all the oil, all the water, then flooded it with a fire hose. It kept on running because Duraloop protects your engine like no other product can.
I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it myself.
Now let Duraloop make a believer out of you. Duraloop, peace of mind in a bottle.
My brother told me to watch his chicken nuggets for a minute so no one eats them. But when someone gets nuggets, it's hard not to try one.
Now get 5 all-white meat Wendy's chicken nuggets for 99 cents.
Who ate my nuggets? Steve Thomas.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Great look at Pocono International Raceway. Each year, each time we come here, it is transformed into one of the biggest cities in Pennsylvania. And the folks at Duraloop helping bring you all of these aerial views of the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. On the racetrack, Todd Bodine and Jeff Burton. Good battle for 9th spot now with just those 21 laps remaining. Jeff Gordon still leads comfortably. So we'll ride in this battle for 9th and 10th.
Eli, let's explain the windshield just a little bit. They don't really wipe the right side of the windshield because the driver's looking out the left side of the car. As you see him trying to make a move right there. As they come up there, the right side usually is about that bad, but the left side where the driver's looking is pretty clean.
Scramble back into turn number 1. That was not the smoothest transition.
It looked like Jeff Burton got a little bit sideways there, and that's what enabled Todd Bodine to get back 9.
9th spot for Todd Bodine, 10th for Jeff Burton. Rusty Wallace back on the speedway. He's 47 laps down. If you're following Rusty, they've made their repairs. He's 47 laps back. As you see the second place battle now shaping up here. On the main straightaway, heading back off into the corner. Rudd bypassing Mark Martin.
You said it right. He went right by. He got a great run off the corner.
I'll tell you, Mark Martin pulled over and let him go. I think Mark Martin, as Steve Neal alluded to earlier in the race, Mark Martin's car is so loose with somebody behind him that I don't think he could stand it. He pulled over and actually let Ricky Rudd go by, it looked like. Maybe Glenn or Randy can check with Steve Neal.
I would rather think you're wrong on that one because he got Jeff Bodine just behind him for another spot.
Of course, Jeff Bodine is right behind as well. He's on the lead lap. Then Morgan Shepherd, then Bobby Hamilton and Terry Labonte. How do you think about Mark Martin's run, Glenn?
Well, I think what happened, Rudd is turning some really quick laps right now, guys. And I think that that Steve Neal was telling Mark, hey, Rudd's coming. Don't hold him up because those are 2 Fords. There's a Chevrolet leading that race. If there's any chance in the world that one of those Fords can catch him, that's what they're going to do. They're going to let that Ford try to catch that Chevrolet. And I think that's just teamwork. Randy?
Well, I would have to agree with you. There are 3 Fords lined up at this particular time. That's the only way they're going to run them down. They probably won't be able to do it in that fashion as well. But Mark Martin is one guy that he doesn't like the car to get loose, and that's one of the ways that it does. If a guy gets up behind you, I've heard it all season long, you listen to him on the scanner, if you're up in the stands, he doesn't like the fact that if a guy gets underneath him, the car will get loose. Now, that's not to say he's scared, but he's smart. He doesn't want that car to come out from underneath him, and I wouldn't be surprised to still see him finish second.
I got to tell you, those are thousands of dollars they're running for right now, and moving over and just being a good guy. I know Mark Martin well enough. He's a very aggressive race car driver. I'm not going against everybody in the pits there, but I will tell you that race car drivers this close to the end, they do everything they can to make money.
Rick Mast with engine problems. We had documented those. He has taken the Hooters machine to the garage area. He'll be the 13th retiree. Jeff Gordon continues to lead. He won at Dover from the Busch pole. He's trying to do the very same here at Pocono. Just 17 laps to go.
It's 400 miles of rocky, rutted trails with enough bumps and jumps to shake a truck to pieces. But if you think an endurance race through the Arizona desert is a real torture test for a truck, just imagine what it can do to a battery. That's why Parker 400 winners Dan Smith and Dave Ashley chose a battery they could depend on to go the distance. The Duralast battery. The same Duralast you can depend on for your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
I always use my favorite steak sauce. It's tradition. Every once in a while, I'm in the mood for something different. Something thick, robust, and hearty. Yeah, all right.
New A1 Thick and Hearty.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 Infinitred radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear Infinitreds. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
Thursday, before country was cool and rock was on a roll, they turned the music world upside down.
It fulfilled every wish, dream, everything I'd ever thought of, all in the space of a year.
The Life and Times of the Everly Brothers, Thursday on TNN.
I buy auto parts. I want to talk to people who really know what they're doing. The parts pros at Discount Auto Parts. I depend on these folks, like Rich here. I know him. He knows me. He gets me the right part at the right price every single time.
Get the low price on Castrol motor oil. Any weight you choose, only 98 cents a quart. Castrol, 98 cents a quart this week at Discount Auto Parts.
You work on your car? Go with the pros you know.
Go with the pros you know at Discount Auto Parts.
Monday, crank it up. No sound check needed. Get plugged in and take a front row seat. It's a jam session you don't want to miss. Join host Ricky Skaggs with special guests Patty Loveless, Jim Lauderdale, and Ralph Stanley. It's your ticket on stage and backstage. Get ready for the main event. CMG presents Monday Night Concerts, 8 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
The laps are winding down, and there you see a very interesting fact. Of all the races here at Pocono, only 5 times has the Busch pole sitter gone on to victory lane. And let's not just make this a gimme. You know, we were saying the same thing last year, same time. Jeff Gordon had led 124 laps of the race, and then Terry Labonte led the last 7 when Jeff missed the shift on the restart. So, hey, it's looking good, certainly, but it's never a gimme in this business.
Well, Eli, you watched a while ago when they had problems up in turn 3. Derek Cope had run well all day, got in the back of a lap-over car and dinged the front end all up on the car, so anything can happen.
That's 11th place right there between the 98 Jeremy Mayfield and the 4 of Sterling Marlin. The other car in the picture, Steve Grissom, he is running in 23rd spot, a couple of laps down, but the 98 and the 4 are right now battling for a position, and give that to Sterling holding on to the 11th spot now. And look how nicely he used Grissom as a bit of a pick.
Jeremy Mayfield pulled up right on the back bumper. Steve Grissom, he got him loose, and he didn't want much part of that.
13 laps to go. Jeff Gordon, who by rights should have won here last June, finished second here in July. There you see Ricky Rudd now in second spot. Mark Martin in third. Jeff Bodine in fourth. I wonder if Steve Neal asked Mark Martin to move over.
Oh, guys, give it up.
Glenn, why don't you give me the answer down there?
Boy, I hate to say I told you so, but Steve told me, I just asked him, he said, well, Ricky was coming so fast that, and there were several laps left that Mark didn't want to hold him up, so he just motioned him on by. In fact, he said the racetrack is tightened up, so they don't have quite as bad a loose problem as they had earlier on, but I was right, Betty.
Glenn, you were due one. It's been years.
We are 12 laps to go as the mirth and merriment continues here at Pocono International. Beautiful day, but a gorgeous weekend. You know, over the years here at Pocono, we have seen every kind of stuff Mother Nature can throw at you except an attack of locusts. And it has this weekend been, I mean, Chamber of Commerce weather. It's been magnificent. Coming down to the checkers shortly, just 12 laps to go. Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, Jeff Bodine, and Morgan Shepherd, your top 5.
At Western Auto and Parts America, we carry more Raybusters brakes for more cars than anyone else, and all at guaranteed low prices. So it doesn't matter what you drive, where you drive it, or how you drive it. We can stop it. Western Auto and Parts America. Serious parts, serious savings. At Western Auto and Parts America, you'll always find the best selection of quality name brands for guaranteed low prices.
Like Raybustas, the official brakes of NASCAR. Now get Raybustas silver brake shoes and pads starting at just $9.99.
Western Auto and Parts America. Serious parts, serious savings.
10 minutes and we're out of here.
Hi, Ralph. That pipe again. Will it take long?
Nah, only...
Oh, DirecTV.
A couple hours.
Well, walk up when you leave.
Sure.
DirecTV. Over 175 channels, digital picture and sound. It's satellite TV at its best.
Wow, does this blow cable away?
Comfy?
For the choice of movies, cable, and sports packages you can't get anywhere else, it's got to be DirecTV.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane,
Frank, we're late.
Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration, just give us 5 tanks, and we think you'll see a difference. A word of advice, though. Maybe you'd better leave the windows rolled up.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Join the Winston Cup Stars December 9th through 13th on TNN's second annual NASCAR Family Cruise, benefiting the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. Enjoy the fun of the Caribbean on the Big Red Boat, the Starship Oceanic. There'll be NASCAR festivities and activities, plus stops in the Bahamas. It's 4 nights of non-stop food, fun, and high seas hospitality. You'll party with top NASCAR drivers.
Everybody's enjoyed this. It was a big hit.
Call now for 5 days on America's #1 family cruise. Special rates for kids. Don't miss the boat, the Big Red Boat, December 9th.
How good has Jeff Gordon been this year? Well, he has led 28% of all the laps that have been run this season. And he's doing himself a job now. There's old Ricky Rudd snaking his way down the main straightaway. He and Mark Martin, he's trying to break the draft on the guys behind him.
Yeah, he's trying to break the draft on those guys. When you see him doing like that, now, that one that was making a move on him there is the one that pulled over just a little while ago.
We are 9 laps from conclusion. That is the battle we're watching. It's a good one. Rudd is in second. Mark Martin is in third. Jeff Bodine is in fourth, and Morgan Shepherd fifth. Good run for Bobby Hamilton in sixth. Terry Labonte is now seventh. 8th spot is Jimmy Spencer. We've got Jeff Burton and Todd Bodine rounding out the top 10. Western Auto mechanic of the race. There he is, Paul Andrews. He, of course, leads the team for Jeff Bodine, the QVC Ford. Paul Andrews, the Western Auto mechanic of the race. Hey, old Ricky Rudd, you see him there, middle of your screen, still snaking his way through. And at this stage, a car length and a half is enough to hold everybody at bay. 8 laps to go.
Jeff Bodine's gained a lot on Mark Martin. Last time we looked, he was several car lengths behind, but that last shot, he closed right up to within a car length or 2.
Just a slip, and there's thousands of bucks up for grabs there.
Riding with Mark Martin. That is Jeff Bodine right behind him. At this stage of the afternoon, 16 teams on the lead lap. We gave you the top 10 a moment ago. Sterling Marlin's 11th. Jeremy Mayfield is in 12th. Wally Dallenbach quietly in 13th. Bobby Hill in 14th. Michael Waltrip 15th. And John Andretti is 16th. John Andretti beat Michael Andretti here in a go-kart race at Pocono 20 years ago this weekend. Actually, John won, and they took the race away from him. He finished, he ran his go-kart on a flat tire. They took the win away from him, and he complained so much they gave it back to him.
Must have been on the USAC office.
193 laps on the board. Good battle we're watching for third and fourth. We're riding with Mark Martin. He has third.
Well, Jeff Gordon, you can see Jeff Bodine trying several approaches into each corner there, trying to get up under Mark Martin. I just don't know whether he has the horsepower or not. You see Mark there as they enter out of the corner there, really getting a jump on Bodine.
Yeah, he was able to get in the throttle. It looked like about a car length before Jeff, and that gave him an extra car length and a half that he has right now.
Meanwhile, up front, it's 4 2/10 seconds from the leader Gordon back to Ricky Rudd. We're not forgetting them, but they're not particularly close right now. This is the battle that's on the racetrack. Second, third, and fourth. The other good battle on the track, fifth place, Morgan Shepherd ahead of Bobby Hamilton. Good to see both of those teams doing well here today. Morgan led a lap. Actually led a couple of laps, 136 and again 171. Bobby Hamilton led a lap today, lap 137.
Five laps to go, Eli. It looks like Jeff Gordon's just running out there, just kind of biding his time. He's not really racing anybody, but these guys are racing.
That's a dandy battle. We've seen guys pass on the outside today. Not this time, Jeff Bodine. I like the fact that Jeff Bodine is trying. You know, sometimes you'll see guys just ride and make a one effort on that last lap. At least Jeff's trying a bunch of stuff.
Well, you can see him moving around, trying to break the draft down the straightaway. You see Bodine's car very good through the tunnel turn. Now they're going down the little short chute, going into turn 3. Looks like Bodine closes in very good. Watch as they start in the corner here. You'll see him close down, maybe car length, and right up underneath Mark as they come off the corner. Looks like it almost touched.
But then Mark jumps in the throttle, and it squirts him out just about a car length ahead of Jeff Bodine. And then it's hard. He's got momentum coming off the corner. It's hard for Jeff Bodine to make a move once Mark gets the momentum. But he's all over him like a blanket.
The car behind them, Ricky Craven, you saw him. He's not on the lead lap. He's 17th. Here goes Bodine. Got him. Turn 1. Now can Mark come back?
Mark's trying to get up under him down the back straightaway there and take that angle off as they start in the tunnel turn, but he can't make it. Bodine's very strong down through there.
There's nothing a race car driver hates more, Eli, than losing a position late in the race, losing a position or two or whatever. So, you know, Mark Martin is doing his best to get back up there. And there goes Bobby Hamilton by Morgan Shepherd for 5th position.
Right, that's 5th place changing hands. So the STP Pontiac moves ahead of the Remington Arms Ford of Morgan Shepherd. Chevy leading, as he has for much of the day. Jeff Gordon. Ricky Rudd, who started back in 9th in his Ford, is now running 2nd. Then you've got a Ford 3rd, a Ford 4th, a Pontiac 5th, a Ford is 6th, another Chevy in 7th. Inside of 3 laps to go. Jeff Gordon will be another first-time Pocono winner. If he can hold on here today. He's never won here at Pocono.
It's a good run for the Pontiac. You know, they get a new nose for next week.
That's right. There's been a change that NASCAR has made. They approved the new nose piece for the Grand Prix, effective next week in Michigan, and basically it'll redo or eliminate that 1-inch addition that was granted to Pontiac at the front balance there last month. Well, that is going to affect next weekend at the Irish Hills of Michigan. We're watching Bobby Hamilton pull away from Morgan Shepherd. Meanwhile, next time Jeff Gordon comes to the stripe, he'll get the white flag.
Eli, the paint job you're looking at right there on the 43 car with the paint job that Richard Petty had when he won the first Pocono race here.
Now back up front, Jeff Gordon. He'll be coming to the white flag this time by 13 career NASCAR Winston Cup wins right now. Looking for his 5th win of this season.
He's going to put a pretty big dent in the gap he had between himself and Earnhardt in the point standings.
If you're just joining us, Dale Earnhardt with engine problems finished back in 32nd position. White flag for Jeff Gordon. He ran this car at Charlotte. He ran it at Dover Downs International Speedway a couple of weekends ago. And here he has it again. Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte both led today. That is the 10th race of the year that both men have led. What does that say about Hendrick Motorsports?
Boy, very strong. This race car's been good. But the Attaboy Award, as far as I'm concerned today, Jeff Bodine. What a great run in 3rd.
But here come the DuPont colors. Things are really going to tighten up atop the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings, working turn 3 for the final time. Jeff Gordon, his 5th win of 1996, his first at Pocono in the books. And he does it again from the Busch pole. Another Unocal challenge is his. $7,600 of an additional bonus to Jeff Gordon and the DuPont Racing Team. We will follow them to victory lane as soon as we come back. Jeff Gordon wins. Ricky Rudd is 2nd. Jeff Bodine is 3rd here at Pocono.
Enter the Performance Zone with Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs.
You hit your passing gear, you're gone.
Experts say Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs mean more horsepower and better mileage.
The difference in gas mileage has been fantastic.
Enter the Performance Zone only with Split-Fire Performance Vs, guaranteed. And now get triple platinum performance for the life of your car. New Split-Fire 3 spark plugs.
How far can you go on $199? Well, come to Pep Boys and you can go 80,000 miles. Because right now you can get 4 of our 80,000-mile tires for just $199. That's a full set for under $200. Oh, the roads you'll travel, the sights you'll see, the money you'll save. You can even charge them on your Pep Boys credit card. That's $199 for any size, any 4 of our 80,000-mile tires in stock. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
Imagine a satellite system that turned digital signals into vivid pictures and CD quality sound. What would it look like? How big would it be? Oh, about 18 inches. The RCA Digital Satellite System. Customized programming and the power of digital technology. Now in a convenient take-home size.
Hurry over to Radio Shack
and check out the new RCA DSS system.
I guess we'll walk into Radio Shack.
When the Busch Boys have made the short track confines of Myrtle Beach, it's a test of survival. With tricky turns and heavy traffic, this tight little oval puts the squeeze on race teams. Last year, Larry Pearson's Stanley Tool Chevy had the hardware to take the victory. Who's got the right stuff this year? From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it's the Busch Grand National Carolina Pride Advance Auto Parts 250. Saturday, 5 p.m., 4 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Well, it was not a good day for Dale Earnhardt. Engine failure. He finishes in 32nd. The man in number 24 is atop the leaderboard and in victory lane. Jeff Gordon, Phil Parsons, I know you've got to hurry over into the garage area. Good to have you on board here today. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Eli, buddy. I really enjoyed it. I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish my dad happy Father's Day, my father-in-law, and thank my daughter, Kinsley, for my tie for Father's Day.
There you go. We'll see you at Myrtle Beach next weekend. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon pulling out of that DuPont Chevy. tired but very satisfied young man. Glenn, a lot of smiling faces.
Well, and obviously the biggest smiling face, Jeff Gordon. I told you right before the race, or at the beginning of the show, he felt like this place owed him one, and man, you dominated here again.
Well, you know, we just hung in there all day long. I don't know if this place owed us one or not, but we've run very strong here, and we've been capable of winning here many times, and something's happened. So you can imagine what was going through my mind at the end of this race. I was like, what's going to break? What's going to happen? What am I going to do? Every time I shifted, I was like, man, am I going to miss and go to second? I didn't know what was going to happen, but Rusty had a strong car, and, you know, I hate to see him fall out or have trouble, but I think we had something for him. We were the only one that had anything for him. He's the only one that had anything for us. But the DuPont Automotive Finishes Chevrolet was awesome today, man.
Jeff, you really cut into Dale Earnhardt's points lead today. I tell you, I haven't seen the exact figures yet, but it's going to be close after today.
Well, you know, we've had our problems this year, and he hasn't had very many problems. And you know, you don't wish any bad luck on anybody. You don't want to see anybody have problems. But you know, today we just did our job, and that's what really counts. These guys are great. They give me a great race car. We'll take Blacker everywhere we can go. Now this thing is awesome, but these guys got it done to pits also.
As you said, 5 wins this year, his 4th from the pole. Randy?
Well, Ricky Rudd talking to some reporters. We'll get a word with him. Ricky, congratulations on a good run. You guys needed to have a solid run up front. You did that today.
Well, this is a brand new car for these guys. You know, they've worked hard all year and had plenty of chances for them to give up during the year. I probably haven't been as patient as I could be on them, and they've been digging hard. It's a brand new race car, and we just need to get busy and build some more like it. It's not a winning car today. I think we were close, but it's the first time for this car. I think we got something we can adjust on.
What about heading to Michigan? Will you bring this car?
Well, I think so. If we've got a couple of these cars under construction, but I don't think we can get them built quick enough. So this car looks like it's in good shape. We'll probably take it to Michigan.
Congratulations on a good effort. Eli?
Thanks a lot, Randy. The Pit Crew of the Race Award now brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, making the world a very cool place. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Well, on behalf of T&N Motorsports and Miller Beer, we present you with another Pit Crew of the Race Award. I know this guy's name is Ray Evernham. I ain't going to call him Ray Gordon again today. Or Jeff Evernham, whatever I called you. Where are you putting all these things, buddy?
Well, we've got a nice wall of them, and again, we appreciate Miller's participation. It means an awful lot to the guys, and you know, the Miller driver, Rusty, drove like a gentleman there at the end. That helped us out. These awards mean an awful lot to the guys, and got to say Happy Father's Day to Rick and Pop and my dad and everybody, and really got to say it's been kind of a hectic weekend for me, and just really need to thank God because he walked with us today.
Well, he certainly did. He rode with him, too. I tell you, that car was awesome. This man was responsible for setting it up, Ray Evernham.
He is as good as they come, a former racer himself in modifieds. Ray worked for the International Race of Champions and now making name for himself with the DuPont team. Third place finisher Jeff Bodine, a super run in the QVC Ford. Let's get his thoughts.
Well, talk about needing a good run. That's Jeff Bodine. You had one today, Jeff.
Yeah, we really did. Proud of the team, the way everyone stayed together. This last year and a half been pretty agonizing for all of us, and you know, we needed a good run, kind of like the transfusion. We weren't going to survive without it, and QVC has stuck with us. I'm going shopping tomorrow. I got lots of money now. Make sure you tell them you're a race fan when you call in. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I know he's back. I called him before the race. I had good luck. Brett didn't. Ty looked like he was running good. Where'd he finish?
We don't know. No, he had a decent run today. 10th he was. I'm just kidding.
So that's not bad. 2 Godines in the top 10. But happy Father's Day, Dad. Hope you have lots more.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff Bodine, a fine run, came home in 3rd ahead of Mark Martin in 4th and Bobby Hamilton in 5th. We're coming back with more from Pocono. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's equal parts, sweat and steel. It's decisions made in the split of a second. And pain endured for the length of a day. And at the finish, you're either toasting victory or getting set to do it all over again next week. It's auto racing, the way we do it, on the Miller team.
This is the Texaco Haviland stock car. And this is the Texaco Haviland Indy car. And while these cars run on special fuels, we figured it was still a good way to remind you that Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines give your car unsurpassed performance. And Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco antifreeze coolants provide complete protection. But if we really wanted you to remember our name, maybe we should have sponsored something slower.
The Pontiac Firebird waits. 305 horsepower comes to life. Ram air induction turns air into fuel in a rush. Firebird, you're ready to fly.
There's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. And when drivers take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common: the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do the top drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
Today's exclusive TNN coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500, presented by ProMotion Engine Treatment, has been brought to you by the Miller Brewing Company, proud sponsor of the Miller Racing Team. We race for beer. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. And by Pontiac, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. We are driving excitement. Well, Jeff Gordon becomes the first driver to surpass $1 million in earnings for this season. As you see, the top 10 finishers, a fine run for all of those fellas. Todd Bodine, we told you earlier, coming home with a top 10. Others all on the lead lap. Back to John Andretti. He was the last driver on the lead lap in 16th. Kyle Petty there in 17th, 18th position. And on down, old DW. A tough day today. Rick Mast ran well before the engine went sour. He came home in 28th position. And further back, we take you to Rusty Wallace, then Dale Earnhardt, and all those fellows who failed to finish. Point standings really going to shuffle around here today. And Bobby Labonte with the accident on lap number 3, the first retiree of the afternoon. So how do the NASCAR Winston Cup points stack up right now? Well, things are going to tighten up. Terry Labonte, 52 markers behind Dale Earnhardt. Jeff Gordon, 64 down. Then Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd. That's the running order in the points heading into the race at Michigan International Speedway next weekend. Don't forget, coming up tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, the PM edition of Race Day. Rick Benjamin will be along to bring you all the action. That's tonight, 10 o'clock on TNN Motorsports. Next weekend, Myrtle Beach Speedway for the NASCAR Busch Series. The Carolina Pride Advanced Auto Parts 250 NASCAR Busch Series Racing, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. That is next Saturday right here on TNN Motorsports. Of course, coming up following our broadcast today, Motor Trend Television, then NHRA Today, the Winston NHRA Drag Racers, giving you all the doings for the straight line set. That's coming up following our telecast here on TNN today. Buddy Baker, enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too, and happy Father's Day to Buck Baker, my dad.
For Buddy Baker, for Phil Parsons, Glenn Jarrett, and Randy Pemberton, I'm Eli Gold. Our congratulations to Jeff Gordon. He dominated today and ends up in victory lane. We'll talk to you next week. Till then, you have a good week. So long from Pocono.